Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Boys from the Baltic Star. Apologies in advance if you were tuning in hoping to find us playing Traveller this evening. This is not a Traveller evening. We do play a number of different games. Generally speaking, they're all narrative, role-playing type games. And tonight, just tonight, we are playing a fighting fantasy game book published in 1983. This is my original copy of City of Thieves. It was published, it's written by Ian Livingstone, and it is number 5 in the original fighting fantasy game book series. Thank you everyone for joining us. On the top right of the screen is my friend Ewan. Ewan, how are you this evening?
I'm very good, thanks, Ben. I'm very good. I'm excited about our trip, mission, adventure, stroll through the City of Thieves. Whatever it turns out to be.
Well, I'm sure with a name like City of Thieves, it has to be a charming place where nothing can possibly go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's possibly unfounded optimism, I feel, because so far we've done 4 of these in order. And remind me, how many have we actually won?
I believe we're 0 for 4.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But, I have to check the official stats.
We did survive the first one.
Yeah.
But failed it. The second one, we died horribly. The third one, we made it all the way through and then died while trying to get back to the start.
Yeah.
And the fourth one, we made a mistake of peering into an active volcano and it blew us apart. That ended very sharply.
Yeah, in fact, I think the second and the fourth one that were both deaths, they were both falling related, weren't they?
One way or another, yes.
Yeah. So avoid any heights, peering into things, over cliffs. But we're in a city, so we should be fine.
We should be absolutely fine, yes. And based on the cover photo, which though it says City of Thieves, depicts some hellish fortress-like place with a skeletal monster holding a scythe and a head on a spike. So it may be depicting Sittingbourne?
Yeah, possibly. Luke, if you're still watching, we need some kind of postcard for the City of Thieves, I feel.
For those who don't know, these are played with 2d6. You generate a character and follow a set of rules, and basically you turn from paragraph to paragraph, making your way through. And the way we do it is we each have a character, and because they're originally intended for one player, we nerf our stats a little bit, and then we hurl ourselves into the unknown. I have played this through before, I'll be completely honest. I played it through probably in 1983 when it came out, when I was about 12. So it's been a while, and I can't remember anything about it at all. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is roll up our stats. So that's for skill is 1d6 plus 6. I've started well there. That's 12.
Oh, nice. It's not bad. It's a 4 plus 6. It's
Not
better
bad
than
at
I was
all.
expecting.
Then stamina is 2d6 plus 12.
Oh. Well, that's a double one.
Okay.
Get it out of the way now, though.
Better now than in combat. Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
And luck 1d6 plus 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, plus 6.
That's okay. I know what you meant.
Yep.
And that's better. That's a 5.
Okay. I was going quite well. I got a 12 and then a 21 and then a 7.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. Now, we each start with 5 provisions,
Yep.
and we each get 1 potion. So we can choose essentially from a skill potion, a strength potion, or a fortune potion. A skill one, well, each of them restore your skill, stamina, and luck respectively back to their initial values, except that the fortune one also gives you a +1 on that. So I'm going to go with a fortune potion.
That makes perfect sense. Actually going to take the potion of strength because I rolled double ones for my stamina.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And the provisions, remind me, Ben, they restore...
They restore 4 points of stamina.
4 stamina, any time but in combat.
Anytime you're out of combat, yes.
Perfect.
So thank you everyone for joining. I've been sort of seeing the chat scroll past. Sorry, been doing other things, but thank you everybody for turning up. It's lovely to see some old friends and some new friends turn up, and Luke. So we shall begin. He says, desperately turning. Right. It's a relaxed evening, Luke. What can I tell you? We're not under pressure to perform all that much. If these characters die, they die.
Don't say that, Ben.
So, let's begin. You are an adventurer in a world of monsters and magic, living by quickness of wit and skill of sword. You earn your gold as a hired warrior, usually in the employ of rich nobles and barons on missions too dangerous or difficult for their own men. Slaying monsters and fearsome beasts in pursuit of some fabled treasure comes a second nature to you. Being an experienced and highly trained swordsman, you allow nothing to stand in your way on your quests. Your success on a mission is always assured, and your reputation is spread throughout the lands. Whenever you enter a village or town, the news of your arrival spreads through the citizens like wildfire, as few of them have ever met a dragon slayer before. One evening, after a long walk through the outlands, you arrive at Silverton, which lies at the crossroads of the main trading routes in these parts. Great wooden wagons hauled by teams of oxen are often seen rumbling slowly through the town, laden with herbs, spices, silks, metalware, and exotic foods from far-off lands. Over the years, Silverton has prospered as a result of the rich merchants and traders stopping there en route to distant markets. Its wealth is quite apparent, with ornate buildings and richly dressed people aplenty. But as you enter the town gates, something strikes you as being not quite right. The people look nervous and on edge. Then you notice that all the windows on the buildings have great iron grills bolted over them, and the doors have been strengthened too. Although you prefer your own company to that of others, you decide to stay in Silverton for the night to find out who or what is troubling the people. As you walk down the main street, a single note from a bell rings, and out from a tall tower ahead. Then a man shouts, almost desperately, "Nightfall! Nightfall! Everybody indoors!" You see people scurrying around with anxious faces, and looking surprised when they see you. Across the street you see a tavern with the words, "The Old Toad," painted on its signboard. As you enter the tavern, a whisper runs through the locals, as they recognise you. Some put down their mugs and stare. You are somewhat surprised that none come over to you to hear tales of adventure. Walking over to the counter, you ask the old innkeeper for a room and a hot tub, but he ignores you and shuffles over to the great oak door, pushing 6 large iron bolts into place. Only then does he turn to you and say quietly, "There'll be 5 copper pieces for the room and 1 more for the tub, in advance if you please." You reach into a leather pouch on your belt and toss the coins on the counter. He hands you an iron key. But at that very moment there's a loud knocking on the door, followed by a voice shouting, "Open up! Open up!" This is Owen Caroliff. The old innkeeper shuffles over to the oak door again and slides open the bolts. Then a fat and balding man dressed in rich scarlet robes bursts into the tavern, looking around frantically. He sees you and walks quickly in your direction, huffing and puffing. He is a man certainly not used to haste. You notice great beads of sweat on his forehead in the pale moonlight of candlelight of the room. As he nears you, he calls out urgently, "Stranger, I must speak with you. Please sit down. It is important that I speak with you." When he turns to the innkeeper to snap his fingers for food and drink, you can see that he is obviously of some standing in the town, but his face is full of anguish and sorrow. Being curious, you decide to hear what the man has to say. He pulls out a chair for you at a table, bidding you to sit down, and the innkeeper bustles in with a tray laden with hot broth, roast goose and mead. The man in the scarlet robe sits opposite in silence, watching you as you feast, as though examining you for some purpose of his own. Finally, as you push your plate away, the man leans forward and says, in a low but anxious voice, "Stranger, I know of you, and seek your aid. My name is Owen Caroliff, and I am the mayor of Silverton. We're in great trouble and danger. We're living under a curse, and it is I who must rid us of it. 10 days ago, 2 messengers of evil rode into town on huge black stallions. Stallions with fiery red eyes. It was impossible to see the faces of the riders, for they wore long black cloaks with hoods pulled over their faces. Their voices were cold, and each word ended with an unnerving hiss. They asked for me by name, and when I came to greet them, they wanted to take my beloved daughter Mirelle to stay with their master, Zanbar. No doubt you know that he is the Night Prince. Of course I refused their demand, and without another word they turned and rode slowly out of the town, heads down and shoulders hunched. I knew then that beneath the cloaks were hidden the skeletal and soulless bodies of spirit stalkers. Zanbar Bone always uses them as his messengers, as they will complete their mission or die in the attempt, and they do not die easily. Only a silver arrow through the heart will release those evil beings from their eternal twilight existence. Who knows what it would take to kill Zanbar Bone? Anyway, that same night after the spirit stalkers left, our troubles began. The Night Prince was angry and determined to harm us. 6 moondogs came, each stronger than 4 men, each with razor-sharp fangs. They stalked through the town, entering homes through open windows and killing the poor people inside. In the morning we counted 23 dead, so we barred our windows and bolted our doors. Yet each night the moondogs return, and we are unable to sleep for fear they might find a way into our homes. Some people are now talking of sending Mirelle to Zanbar Bone. Those whimpering traitors, I should have them flogged. But what good would that do? There is but one hope, and that rests with you, stranger. There is a man called Nicodemus who, for reasons I'll never understand, lives in Port Blacksand. The place is commonly called the City of Thieves, as it is the home of every pirate, brigand, assassin, thief and evildoer for hundreds of miles around. I think he lives there just to get some peace from the likes of us. He is a wise old wizard, and is unlikely to come to much harm even in Port Blacksand, for his magical powers are great. He alone is capable of defeating Zanbar Bone. He used to be a friend of mine many years ago. We need him, and I beg you to bring him to us. None here dares enter Port Blacksand. You will be well rewarded if you help us, stranger. Take these 30 gold pieces for your journey, and take this sword to use and keep. As Owen Caroliff rises, he pulls back his scarlet robe, revealing the finest broadsword you've ever seen. He hands it to you, and touching the edge of the blade, you are surprised to see a droplet of blood fall from your finger. You then examine the marvellously ornate gilded serpents twining round the hilt. You've never wanted anything so badly in your life before. You stand up and hold out your right arm to Owen. He shakes it eagerly, saying, "You must set off at first light of dawn. The moondogs will be gone by then. I shall be forced to stay the night here also. So let's drink to our destiny, and may the gods be with us." For the next hour, Owen talks about your coming journey, explaining in detail how to reach Port Blacksand. Later, you gather up your backpack and furs and climb the wooden stairs to your room. You sleep uneasily, despite the security afforded by your new broadsword, as you are more than once woken by the sniffing, scratching and howling of the roaming moondogs outside. By dawn, you're already awake and dressed and determined to reach Port Blacksand quickly to find this man Nicodemus. As you leave the tavern, a black cat scurries past your feet, and you almost trip. A bad omen, perhaps. Now turn over. Okay, so we've got 30 gold. I say we quit now. Leno's right.
I agree. Thank you very much, Socks, for the gifted sub, by the way. That's very kind. And Leno is indeed here, and he thinks that we should just do a runner with the silver and the sword.
Yep, I think we call that one. Yep, it's an absolute win, right?
Yeah, we don't lose, we win. We can mark that down as a 1 for 5, I think. Oh, go on then, Ben. Read the page.
All right, okay. So we'll take 15 each.
Yeah, makes sense.
Result. Okay. The walk to Port Blacksand takes you west some 50 miles across plains and over hills, fortunately without any harmful encounters. Eventually you reach the coast and see the high city walls surrounding Port Blacksand and the cluster of buildings projecting into the sea like an ugly black mark. Ships lie anchored in the harbour and smoke rises gently from chimneys. It looks peaceful enough, and it is only when the wind changes that you smell the decay in the breeze to remind you of the evil nature of this notorious place. Following the dusty road north along the coast to the city gates, you begin to notice fearful warnings. Skulls on wooden spikes, starving men in iron cages suspended from the city wall, and black flags everywhere. As you approach the main gate, a chill runs down your spine, and you instinctively grip the hilt of your broadsword for reassurance. At the gate you are confronted by a tall guard wearing a black chainmail coat and iron helmet. He steps forward, barring the way with his pike, saying, "Who would enter Port Blacksand uninvited? State the nature of your business, or go back the way you came." So, will we tell him we want to be taken to Nicodemus? Tell him you wish to sell some stolen booty? Or attack him?
Well, this feels like a very important decision that could have just led to you reading 5 pages for no reason whatsoever. I don't know, Ben. What do you think? We're never one to run head on into combat, are we? Unless it's a screaming elderly man in a dungeon.
I mean, I feel telling him we wish to be taken to Nicodemus, it won't end with that happening, but it's the way I would actually approach this situation.
Yeah, it's truthful. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I have to say as well, these spirit stalkers seem oddly familiar. I'm sure I've seen them in something.
They do a little bit, don't they? Yeah, I must have read about them somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, we turn to 202. The guard replies that he will send for an escort to take you to Nicodemus. He reaches up to a small bell on the wall of his guardhouse and rings it 3 times. Almost immediately, 2 other guards come running out of the house, and you're surprised when they each grab hold of one of your arms. The guard with the pike looks up to the sky and saying, "So you want to see Nicodemus, do you? How would you like to see the inside of a dungeon cell instead? Guards, take this fool away to be shackled and throw away the key." So, do we allow ourselves to be taken away, attempt to fight the guards, or try to bribe them?
Well, at this point, I mean, we've worked hard and sat in an inn for our 30 silver, 15 pieces each. I personally don't think we should part with it so easily.
I agree. So do we want to be taken to the cell, or do we fight the guards? I mean, I'm tempted to say if we fight the guards and we win, the gate is open, right?
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. We can just stroll on in.
Let's give it a shot. 69. This could end terribly, terribly badly, but...
Oh, also, apparently you've got a resplend, Ben. So while we're preparing for combat and sharpening our swords, feel free to resplend. Sorry, I am trying to keep an eye on chat.
Yeah, there you go, Socks. There's your booty. Now... Well, you did ask me to, Socks. I'm nothing if not accommodating.
That is true.
So, just as the guards are about to lead you away, you try with all your might to pull your arms from their grip. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is less than or equal to the skill score, you succeed. If the number is greater, you fail to release yourself and are led away. Okay. Off you go then. Roll for skill. I don't think this is one we can both do.
That's fair. I got an 8, which is less than...
That is
not
less.
equal to my
Excellent.
skill
I
score.
feel good about this. So we turn to 355. You turn on the 2 guards who are holding you, and before they realise what is happening, you smash their heads together, knocking them unconscious. You dash into the city. Turn to 74.
Oh,
That worked.
we didn't even have to combat.
Not really, no.
Nice. That's the kind of combat I like.
Yeah.
The type that doesn't involve actual combat.
Through the main gates, you see that the rubbish-filled streets of the port are narrow and cobbled. Old and decrepit buildings line them closely, with their upper stories overhanging menacingly. You may go west down Key Street, head north along Market Street, or go east down Clock Street.
Oh. So straight away we've... I'm going to assume we came from the south.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, west, north, or east, basically.
Yes. Pretty much. I'm tempted to say west or east.
Yeah.
Just because
Well-
I don't like leaving too open paths. But,
Socks thinks lick west is the way to go.
let's lick west then.
Let's lick west. So we're going to go west down Key Street. We turn to 95. That sounds like a good number. Well done, Socks. You're not going to ask us to peer into any volcanoes, right?
It didn't end well last time.
That was not ideal, no. On the left side of the street, you see a large iron key hanging over the doorway of a small shop. A sign in the window reads, J.B. Raggins, locksmith. If you want to enter the shop, turn to 224, or we can continue walking west. This feels like a door.
Yeah. Sure. Let's attempt to enter the locksmith.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's not locked, but you never know.
224. That would be quite ironic. Sitting on a stool at the back of the shop is an old bespectacled dwarf. He's busy cutting a key on a cast iron treadle machine, which squeaks and grinds noisily. You cough to get his attention, but he doesn't look up from his work. Finally the machine comes to a halt and the dwarf asks you what you want. You can ask him if he has any skeleton keys, or ask him if he knows where Nicodemus lives.
skeleton key. Sounds like it's something that's going to be useful.
It does.
I mean, we've asked to be taken to Nicodemus before, and that
It ended poorly.
well, it ended okay, but it could have gone better.
Also, I mean, it's a bit meta, but I'm not convinced they're going to give us Nicodemus just yet.
Yeah, no, it seems a bit of a jump.
All right, let's try for a skeleton key, 66.
Yes, socks. We definitely want some skeleton quiches.
It's pronounced quickie.
A skeleton what?
The dwarf smiles and boasts that he can make a key to open any lock in Port Blacksand. He says that his special keys are priced at 10 gold pieces each. You can buy a key, and, well, whether you buy one or not, you leave the shop. So, I am tempted to say we can share one, right? Knock off 5 each.
Yeah. Is that how denominations work? It's 10 silver, 1 gold. In this game.
10 gold. No, we've got 15 gold each.
Oh, I thought we had silver. My mistake.
I may have said that by mistake, in which case it's my fault. But we've got 10 gold, and we have so effectively a third of our money.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably worth it for a key that can open lots of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we will do that. Pick up a skeleton key. Down to 10 gold. That felt expensive, but there we go. And we turn to 300.
Perfect. I'll wait and see where 300 is.
The street makes a sudden right turn and heads north. You pass a cluster of small houses and are aware of unseen people watching you walk by. Then the door to one of the houses opens and a small boy dressed in rags runs out and hands you a piece of paper. Without stopping, he runs off and disappears around the corner. The paper has a message on it which reads, "Arrows from 6 bows are pointed at you. Leave 10 gold pieces in the middle of the street and keep walking." We can obey the instruction, making the necessary deduction, lose 2 luck points, or we can keep walking, not lose the luck points, but possibly become slightly more porcupish.
Holier.
Yeah.
I mean, we're renowned heroes, Ben. The town is abuzz whenever we enter.
I like where you're going with this. So we should definitely we should definitely crumple up the paper in our fist, throw it in the gutter with absolute disdain, and stalk on as if they're just not even worthy.
Yeah. Obviously.
I feel that's the way to go. Which means we keep walking north without leaving the gold, turning to 137. This is a slightly nervous page turn. As you take your first step forwards, you're alarmed to hear the familiar whistle of arrows flying through the air. They're coming from windows on either side of the street. Roll 1 die. This is the number of arrows that will hit you, and each will cause you to lose 3 stamina points.
Oh.
Okay.
Not what I was expecting. Do you want to do 1 each?
Yeah, I think we have to be honest.
It makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
All right. Well, thankfully, I rolled a 1.
Samesies. So did I.
Lovely. So I'm still alive.
Yes, which is good because a 6 could have killed me. As could a 5.
So a so 3 stamina points down. Okay, that's fine. We are good. Now we each also lose 2 luck points apparently.
Okay, perfect. Luck is 9. That does seem rather. I don't know. Is it unlucky? We only got hit by 1 arrow each. That seems pretty lucky
That
to
seems
me.
a bit fortunate. On the other hand,
Yeah.
we did accidentally walk down the wrong street.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, there was no option to go back, you understand. Whatever happened, that was going to happen to us.
Yeah, as soon as we exited the shop.
Yeah. Right. Lose 2 luck points and turn to 327. You feel like a pincushion. And although the pain is almost unbearable, you manage to stagger on down the street. Ahead to your right, you see the door of one of the houses opening and a little girl looking out apprehensively. She beckons you to enter the house. And we can enter or continue walking north. I mean, I'm tempted to say it's a door.
Yeah, it certainly is a door. Let's enter. I mean, surely they'll take pity on us both with arrows sticking out.
Yeah.
Mine's in the knee. It hit me in the knee.
Yes, took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah, I used to be an adventurer.
The slight problem is this is a little girl, and all little girls have an inherent creepiness about them somehow. I don't know how, but they do. So yeah, we'll enter the house. That's 126.
Oh no.
The little girl grabs hold of your arm and leads you into a back room. Saying nothing, she motions you to lie down on a sheepskin rug. Suddenly you're aware of a very old man sitting opposite. He rises slowly from his rocking chair and walks over to you. You watch transfixed as he takes hold of an arrow protruding from you and gently pulls it free without causing you any pain. The wound made by the arrow disappears before your eyes. Other arrows are treated similarly if you suffered more than 1 wound. You may restore 2 stamina points for each arrow pulled out by the man. Then, in a slow and almost inaudible voice, he tells you that he wants the broadsword that Owen Caroliff gave you in payment for the healing. You feel obliged to give him your sword, though reluctantly. In exchange, he gives you an ordinary fighting sword. Reduce skill by 1. So we get 2 stamina back for each arrow. Okay. So that gets me back to 20, which is good. However, at the cost of a skill.
And there was you saying before the game that your skill hardly ever goes down.
That's what I was saying.
Thanks, book.
It was
Giveth with one hand.
Yeah. It was very, very unfair. Welcome, Legitimine. And yes, we do stand for Ewan. You're absolutely right. I don't have anything lined up to do that with, but we'll raise a glass.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Legitimine. Back onto the street.
Yep, leave the house and head north. Turn to 112. While most of the houses in the street are small, cramped and dark, you see one ahead that stands alone and is painted bright red. The door has a welcome sign hanging from it. We can enter or keep walking north. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's a door.
Yeah, it is indeed another door.
I feel because there's a welcome sign, this has got to end badly.
Yeah. But it's a door. Let's see what happens, Ben. Which side did you say was it left? Excuse me.
It just says one ahead. I don't know which side.
Yeah, well,
It's
I'll
obviously
make it
one
up.
side or the other because it says you can keep walking north as an alternative.
Yeah. I don't suppose it particularly matters.
But we will enter and turn to 154.
Wonderful.
Inside the house, you find yourself in a room painted red and empty apart from a table, on top of which are two glass bowls. In one there is a small golden scorpion, and the other lies a silver scorpion. In the far corner of the room there are stairs that lead up to another floor. We can pick up either scorpion, climb the stairs, or leave the house.
I'm going to leave this one entirely up to you, Ben. I don't feel qualified enough to make a decision on whether I can pick up a scorpion.
I mean, I'm going to have a go for the silver scorpion. Because it might happen. Yep, I'm going to lick the silver scorpion socks. That's what I'm going to do. 13.
Oh, I'm so glad we had that episode of Traveller where we sniffed and licked the laptop and the case that it was in.
Inspecting the scorpion, you see that it is a brooch. You decide to pin it to your leather tunic. The brooch has magical healing properties. After any battle, the brooch will immediately restore 1 stamina point.
Ooh.
So what do you do next? You may pick up the golden scorpion, or climb the stairs, or leave the house and head north.
Now, let's be honest. After such a fortuitous event, the golden scorpion's got to be a trap, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a trap. And as such,
I mean, I'm tempted to say
we should definitely pick it up just in case.
I mean, yeah, sure. We can go for that. I mean, what's your stamina looking like?
As pretty much as good as it's ever going to get.
Okay. Let's give it a shot. If it turns out to sort of come to life and sting us, then that's what it does.
Yeah, if there's a battle, at least you'll regain 1 stamina after
True.
the battle.
273. Pick up Golden Scorpion, 273. Inspecting the scorpion, you see that it's a brooch. You decide to pin it to your leather tunic. It's a lucky charm. Add 2 luck points to your total. Congratulations.
Ooh. To my current total.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's good. That puts me back up from my unlucky arrow to the knee that I took. Nice.
Brilliant. Okay. Now we can climb the stairs or leave the house. Well, this house is clearly a very good house. And we've now robbed it, so we should obviously go up and see if we can wake up the people we've, robbed.
Yeah, I mean, there's two good things downstairs, which definitely means that we should go upstairs and nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely right.
Stairs are like a door.
Stairs are like a door. Just sort of divided into individual slivers, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many doors. Doorses.
We shall climb the stairs. Turn to 80. The stairs lead to a small room, again painted red. Sitting at a table is a strange creature with a long snout and a deep red scaly skin. From its jaw protrudes rows of sharp teeth, and a long pink tongue darts quickly in and out between them. The creature looks up and stares at you. Are you wearing a scorpion brooch? Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we're both wearing scorpion brooches.
Is there not an option to lie?
So we have to turn to 392. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
He's bound to hate us for this. 392.
For anyone not watching, the reason that we keep bringing up doors is that basically our premise throughout the whole of this book series has been keep going left unless there's a door, in which case we open the door.
Yes. It says the creature is outraged that you've stolen one of its brooches. Oh, it's much more outraged than that. Twice as outraged as that. It jumps up and you notice smoke curling up from its nostrils as its fury mounts. Suddenly a blast of fire shoots from its jaw and it moves towards you with outstretched claws. The blast misses you, but you must fight the creature. Combat. So, it is called a lizardine. And it has skill 8, stamina 8.
Double 8s.
Okay. Now, as well as following the usual rules, we roll a die every attack round for the lizardine's breath. On a roll of 1, 2 or 3, it burns you for a point of damage. Or we can flee downstairs. This does offer us the escape thing, which will cost us 2 stamina each, basically.
Yes. I'm easy either way, to be honest. Your choice, Ben.
I think I'm in the position where I think this house is full of good stuff. If we can, we should kill it and steal its stuff.
Yeah.
Because there may be good stuff up here as well.
I mean, if the brooches are the stuff that it leaves lying around downstairs unattended without a care in the world, then the stuff upstairs is going to be much better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, so let's start with the first thing. I'll roll to find out which of us it attacks. I'll be odd, you be even.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's a 2, so it's attacking you first. Right, cool. Now we each have to roll 2d6 and add our skill.
Ooh, that's 10 plus 9 is a 19.
And I ended up with an 8 plus 11 is a 19. So it's going to have to do well here. And that's an 8 plus 8 is 16. So we've landed 4 points of hit on it. So it's halfway done. Okay. It's rolled a 2 again, so it's going after you again, I'm afraid.
That's okay. Mine is a 6 this time, plus 9 is a 15.
And I've rolled a 20.
Nice.
It's done 8 plus 8 is 16, so I've landed a hit on it, but it's landed one on you.
Yep.
And it's done an extra one with its fiery breath, I'm afraid.
Savage. That's 3 in total. Wonderful.
You're right, Leno. I needed to roll even on the occasions where it didn't hit. That's what I'd misunderstood. Thank you. The first one, it didn't land. Okay. So it's down to 2. This time it's a 5. It's going after me.
I rolled a 9 plus 9 is 18.
And I've rolled a 5 plus 11 is 16. And it's rolled an 8 plus 8 is 16. So did you beat 16, didn't you?
I did indeed. I got a 9 plus 9.
Then it and I have basically parried each other. However, you have killed it, but it does get one last chance, which it has missed, to land a point on me. So it is now done, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. The Lizardine has failed to wipe us out completely. I know Leno's feeling very bad about that.
Yeah, I'm not afraid, but I think chat feel a bit hard done by.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we will die soon. It's fine.
I'm sure. I have confidence in us. So if we stay and win the battle, we turn to 186. On top of the Lizardine's table, you find 4 gold pieces and a scorpion brooch made of copper. If you wish to pick up the brooch and pin it to your tunic, do this. Turn to the 387. If you'd like to just take the gold and go back down the stairs and leave the house, so we can take 2 gold each, which is no bad thing. Okay. So, what do you think?
Why do they keep? It's like they know that we just want to know what happens, regardless of how dead we become. I mean, the other 2 scorpion brooches were good, right?
Yeah, they were. So this one has to be as well.
Yeah,
that's how games work.
I mean, it makes no sense that the gold and the silver one would be good and the bronze one would be like auto death or something after defeating such a formidable foe. Let's take it.
All right, let's do it. You or me?
I don't mind. Do you want to split? One person have the gold and one person have the brooch?
Oh, yeah, if you like. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
And I'm happy either way. You can roll for it if you like.
No, you pick, and I'll happily take either.
Okay. I shall take the unknown brooch and
all right.
Metaphorically roll the dice and see what happens.
Then I shall have the gold, which has restored me almost to my full whack.
Nice.
You wish to pick up the brooch and pin it to your tunic, turn to 387.
I don't like the silence.
You are now wearing a brooch that slows you down in combat without your realising it. Reduce your skill by a point. Finding nothing else of interest in the room, you decide to go back down the stairs and leave the house to head north. Turn to 334.
Wonderful. As we go, I'm going to eat one of my provisions and go back up to full stamina.
Okay. 334.
Go down to four provisions.
Walking towards you down the street are 2 town guards. They stop in front of you and demand to see your papers. If you possess a merchant's pass, turn to 255. If not, turn to 99. Well, we don't. At all. In absolutely no way do we ever achieve that.
No.
So it's 99, yeah?
99.
We do not. Turn to 99.
I'm just going to chuck that down there because regardless of whatever save point we get to, we do not have merchant papers.
You're unable to explain why you import black sand, and the guards draw their swords, telling you that you're under arrest. You draw your sword and fight them one at a time. Well, it says that, but I feel we can actually take one each.
Yeah, there's 2 of us, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, it feels fair. So, without giving you the numbers, do you want the first or the second one?
I will take the first.
Okay. The first one has skill 7, stamina 4.
Skill 7, stamina 4.
Okay. So I rolled a 7 plus 11 is 18. My guard has rolled a 7 plus 6 is 13. I've knocked him down by 2.
Nice. I've rolled a 4 plus 8 is a 12. Mm-hmm. My guard has done much better. That's a 7 plus 7. That's a 14. So I shall go down 2 stamina.
Good, you had your provisions.
It is indeed.
Right, I've now rolled a 6 plus 11 is 17. And it's rolled an 8 plus 6 is 14, which, believe it or not, still means I beat him. This guy's not all that strong, it turns out.
Yeah.
So he's knocked down another couple.
Nice. I rolled a 6 plus an 8 is a 14. My guard has rolled a 10 plus a 7. Means I go down by 2 more stamina.
Ouch. Okay. That's a 10 plus 11 is 22. He's dead. I don't need to roll for him.
When it's impossible, it's impossible. I'm gonna swap out at least one of my die. It's this brooch of slowness. It's not good. That's an 8 plus 8 is a 16. Which
fairly solid.
Better. Indeed. And they rolled a 5 plus 7.
Excellent.
So I shall knock them down 2. So I've got 2 left.
Okay.
And that's a 7 plus an 8 is a 15. And a 5 plus a 7 is a 12.
So he's done.
So they are gone.
We win, turn to 285. You make a rapid search through the guard's possessions and find 7 gold pieces, a set of keys, and a piece of stale bread.
Nice.
Make a note of what you wish to keep and set off north again. Well, we can split the gold. You take the keys and I'll take the bread.
Yeah, sure.
If I take 3 more gold and you take 4, because I ended up with a bit more than you last time.
You sure? I don't mind.
No,
I've
it's
got
fine.
keys, you've got bread.
We're sticking together.
That is true.
And
okay.
This is one of those things. You have no idea whether or not stale bread will be the thing you need in order to pass the Minotaur at some point.
Yes, that is very true. There's been a lot of... which dungeon was that? Was that the first one? That had a lot of those sorts of items that you either had or you didn't.
Yeah. You suddenly
And
needed
in fact,
a dead mouse or a piece of cheese or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and potentially the second as well, I feel. Anyway, I'm also going to eat another provision.
Okay.
And go back up to 4.
Turn to 227.
Was that heading north on 227?
Yes,
not?
Still north.
Wonderful.
The street soon makes another sharp turn to the right, and you find yourself walking east. Outside one of the houses to your left is a pile of rubbish and broken objects. On the top of the pile is a pair of old boots that look about your size. You can try them on or keep walking.
I'll let you have first dibs if you want to try them on.
I think I will try them on. I mean, they're old boots. Clearly they're going to be brilliant. Yeah, we'll try them on. They're a boot-shaped door, basically.
Boots are doors.
Boots are it's also
like
doors.
Twin doors for your feet to enter.
Yeah. Socks, I think that's a bit BDSM, the lick boots comment.
It's not the place for licking boots.
Not the
socks.
place, no. If you want to try them on, turn to 362. 362. Okay, the boots fit perfectly, and walking about you feel very sure-footed. They're magic elven boots. Add a skill point. And set off east again. That's actually good. That restores my skill to what it originally was. Lovely. Yes, I'm worried about that as well, Socks.
So far, it has been.
Genuinely,
nice.
it's thrown us nothing particularly brutal, and there's always been a little reward in exchange for the bad, you know?
Nothing particularly brutal yet.
Okay, so we set off east again, turn to 103. You arrive at a four-way junction in the street. The street continuing east changes its name to Clock Street, and the street running north and south is Market Street. Looking north, you see a crowd of people walking up the street and cheering loudly and waving their arms up in the air. You decide to follow them. So, Clock Street is clearly weird, right? Because it was Clock Street down at the south end as well.
Yeah.
So Clock Street may be a sort of ring road.
Yeah, so does that... Are we not at a T-junction? We're at another crossroad.
We're at a four-way junction, yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
So anyway, there are people going north, crowd of people cheering loudly and waving their arms in the air. So we're going north either way.
Yeah, obviously.
To 148.
We could do with a bit of a street party, festival, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
At this point, it's been quite harrowing.
You catch up with the chanting crowd. You see they're carrying eggs and rotten tomatoes. Ah, it's a hustings. Soon the street opens out onto a large market square. All around the edges are stalls with vendors, hawkers, musicians and entertainers carrying on their business. In the middle of the square is an elevated pillory. Above the noise of the crowd, a trumpet sounds and the crowd start to pelt the man in the pillory with rotten food. An old woman standing next to you offers you 2 eggs to throw. Not wishing to appear to be an outsider, you take the eggs and hurl them. But as you do, the old woman picks your pocket without you noticing. Lose a gold piece or any one item you may have. Unaware of your loss, you walk away from the crowd to look at the various stalls. Okay, I guess, do we each take a gold piece loss?
Well, I'll take a gold piece and then
Yeah.
I'll let you decide whether...
Yeah, if I mean, in essence, we... That's a very good idea, Leno. Can you lose the cursed brooch?
that is a really good idea.
Any one item you may have. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Do you think that's a legitimate way to get rid of the cursed bronze brooch?
I don't see why not, because you didn't know it was cursing you, if you know what I mean.
But that is very true.
So you would actually in character be quite upset that it had gone. That is a very, very good way of doing it. Thank you, Leno.
I'm going to cheer the fact that Leno is here for that genius piece of... I'm not quite sure what to call it. But it is a brilliant idea.
Mr. Leno, I'm not convinced the dragon thing was completely innocent. What with it living in this city full of vagabonds and thieves, but it certainly hadn't done anything to deserve being robbed and murdered. I'll grant you that.
That we know of. Obviously.
Yes, we robbed it, then we murdered it, and then we robbed it again.
I'm still unsure why it was guarding the bronze brooch
Well, it was probably
more significantly
trying to
than the
keep
other
it out
two.
of people's way so they wouldn't accidentally pick it up and take it because it would hurt them.
Oh, now I feel even worse.
He was he was trying to be such a good guy, and so we robbed it and then murdered it and then robbed it. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel quite guilty about that one actually, looking back on it.
Yeah, when you take the picture as a whole, we were kind of the bad guys in that situation. Right, I shall remove the brooch in that case.
Good plan.
Next to Mr. Leno's genius.
Right, and we go and look at the stalls turning to 287. The food stalls are selling fruit, vegetables, meat and hot soup, corn and chestnuts for hungry shoppers. You may eat some hot food if you wish. You can pay a gold piece and increase your stamina by 2. Walking north along the west side of the square, you see a man dressed in purple velvet playing a lyre. If you wish to stop and listen, turn to 3. If you'd rather walk past him, turn to 398.
I'll listen to him. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I mean,
I'm happy to.
musical instruments are basically like doors, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like a door to the soul.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We will turn to 3. The man stops playing and tells you he can bring you good fortune. For the sum of 3 gold pieces, he will sing you a song that will bring you luck. If you wish to pay the musician, turn to 37. If you don't believe him, you may walk to the next stall. I have 16 gold and luck of 5. Accordingly, I've decided to believe him. So I'm going to ask him to play me a song. So that's going to cost me 3 of the gold. And turn to 37. The man strums his lyre and sings a merry song, all about you and your good fortune. He does have the power to make you lucky. Add 2 luck points and walk on to the next stall. Okay, that's restored my luck to its admittedly dismal starting value of 7.
But it was pretty good.
Better than nothing. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to do the same? I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
No, I won't, because my luck is I am currently as lucky as I will ever be.
Okay.
Short of a potion of fortune.
Yep.
Which I do not own.
I do have one of those, but I'm I may end up never using it, you understand, because I want to use it when it'll restore lots of luck points.
Yes.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Get the most out of it.
Yeah. Most bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So, next stall, 398.
Are we carrying on north here, or are we just still in the same area?
We're heading north up the west side of the market square.
Go on then, let's put 398 on there. Just as a save point as such.
A small circle of people is standing around a bare-chested man. He's enormous, and his muscles look as hard as iron. He's asking the crowd for a volunteer to play catch with a cannonball. This guy's an idiot, right? He states
Either that or a genius.
Yeah. He states that whoever drops the cannonball must pay the other 5 gold pieces. You can take him on at the game or just keep going.
I'm not interested in this one. But Ben, if you wish.
I'm trying to think. How are they going to measure whether or not you drop the cannonball? Do you think there's going to be skill? Or
possibly
luck? Because if it's,
combat is skill.
If it's skill, I think I can take him.
It could even be stamina.
Yeah, it could be stamina. If it's stamina, I've got a decent shot. If it's luck, I'm screwed.
Sparrow thinks it's stamina.
All right.
I'm tempted to agree that the continuous throwing of a cannonball should be stamina. That doesn't mean it will be.
I mean, I don't exactly need the 5 GP, but I can, if I lose 5, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Someone had to.
I feel I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway, because it's a door, basically. So yeah, I'm going to take him on at the game. Turn to 378. Okay, this is not as good as any of those ideas. I roll 1 die alternately for myself and for the bare-chested man. You keep going until someone rolls a 1.
Oh. Well, I mean, it is an idea.
Yeah, it just means, I can't do the thing. Oh, well. Okay. I'm going to go first, I guess, because it's only fair to give him the home court advantage, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
And that was a 2. Not great, but it turns out that's enough. And he's also rolled a 2. Mine's a 6. He's rolled a 6. This is disturbing. 5. 1. Yes. 5 free gold pieces. There you go. It's now going to say he's angry with me and kills me, isn't
it? Enter combat. Oh, and don't forget you get to regain one stamina after combat.
Oh, that's
Is
true.
that your brooch?
Yes, that's
Can't
right.
remember if that's
we had an actual combat. Yeah,
we did have one with the guards, didn't we? Sure.
Which means I'm back up to top. Yeah, well, my top. Yeah, good point. Right. Turn to 52. It doesn't look like he stabs me in the back, at least not in theory. Turn to 52. Behind the next stall is a young man selling small weapons and items of equipment. So, there is a throwing knife for 4 gold pieces, a climbing rope for 2, a meat hook for 2, an iron spike for 1, and a lantern for 3.
Whew. I mean, I get the feeling that some of those things are only there to get us to waste gold pieces. But
It's true.
you know, the one that we don't pick will be the one that it says, if you have a,
Yeah.
then you don't die.
Well, that's a total of 12 GP. I've currently got 18 thanks to my cannonball expertise. So
Proficient with
I'm
cannonball.
tempted to say if we split them between us, we can buy all of them. Just in case we end up needing them.
Yeah, sure. So is that 6 pieces each?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a bargain. And being the world, village, town, renowned adventurers that we are, we would know that being well equipped is a very important thing for an adventurer.
So, if we do that, how about you take the top two? That's the throwing knife and the climbing rope. They add up to 6.
Sure.
And I'll take the others.
Perfect.
Excellent stuff.
It wouldn't be the boys from the Baltic Star if we didn't dedicate a little bit of time to shopping.
It's got to be a shopping stream, yes.
Yeah, to be fair.
You then walk north. Turn to 200.
No, that's not what I wanted to do.
In the next stall area, there's a small, brightly coloured tent. Attached to it is a small sign which reads, Madame Star, Clairvoyant. If you wish to enter the tent, or rather continue north, different numbers. I think it's your turn to pick.
Well, tents have doors, and I quite fancy seeing the soothsayer. Let's go in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you enter the tent, turn to 394.
A tent is a wilderness door, Mr. Leno. I approve.
Yes, I agree. 394. 394, 394. Sitting behind a small table is a plump woman wearing bright yellow clothes and a shawl over her head. She smiles as you enter, bidding you to sit down. She tells you that a glimpse of the future will cost you 2 gold pieces. If you wish to pay to hear her predictions, or rather carry on. So you can pay a couple of gold pieces and hear what she has to say, or move on.
I will give her 2 gold pieces. We've come this far. There's no point in walking into a clairvoyant's tent if you're not going to entertain the reading.
I agree. And after all, she knew you were going to pay her.
Well, precisely.
Turn to 368. Looking into a crystal ball, she seems to go into a trance. She tells you you're searching for a wise man with magical powers. She pauses for a moment and then draws in a deep breath, before going on to tell you that the man you're looking for lives in a hut beneath a bridge to the north. She warns you to be careful when approaching the man, for he does not welcome strangers. She then looks away from the crystal ball and asks you to leave. Her face seems to be hiding something. Has she seen some dreadful fate awaiting you? You decide to leave the tent and head north. Well, that's optimistic.
Indeed, it's on par though for the series.
It's on brand for us. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Leave the tent and head north. 117. Now this is definitely encouraging. At the end of the market, a street named Bridge Street runs north out of the square. You decide to walk down it in the hope of finding the elusive Nicodemus. It starts to rain, and the tumble-down houses huddled together on either side of the street look as if they need shelter themselves. Most have their windows boarded up and empty. The door to one flaps noisily in the wind. If you wish to take refuge in the house until the rain stops, or we can press on ahead. I mean, foolishly, I feel we already know the answer to this question.
If it's a house, chances are it's got a door.
Apparently, the door in question flaps noisily in the wind. So we don't even have to, kick it in or anything.
No, it's not even an imaginary door.
All right. So we'll go inside. That's turn to 188.
Wonderful. Did it mention whereabouts? Sorry, Ben. The house was.
Just the door to one flaps noisily in the wind, so on one side of Bridge Street. Yeah.
No worries.
Turn to 188.
Cool.
It's gloomy in the house, but you can make out the shapes of abandoned furniture. Litter and rubble is strewn all over the floor. You find a broken chair and slump down in it to rest. Suddenly, you notice something slither across the floor, and before you can get to your feet, you see in the half light that you're encircled by 6 snakes, each a metre long. We can hack at them with swords, or make a dash for the door.
To run back out into the rain. Oh, let's attack them.
We're brave heroes, after all. We will hack at them with swords.
Indeed.
Turn to 253. The snakes are not very tough opponents for a person trained in the art of swordsmanship. Treat them as a single creature. However, each attack round that they do inflict a wound, 4 points must be subtracted from stamina because of their poisonous bite. Okay. They are skill 5, stamina 5. So we're just going to have to, pile in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me roll to see which of us they go for. That's me this time. That was a 5. Yes, Leno. This time, however, we just pushed in through an already open door and then the snakes attacked us. This wasn't breaking and entering. This was just wandering. I don't feel bad about this one at all. Not at all. Also, they outnumber us. We haven't found their brooches yet.
Not yet.
Right, okay. That's a 6 plus 12 is an 18 for me. Uh, 10 plus 5, 15. So I land a hit.
Mine is an 8 plus 9.
And
Is
you
it
land a hit
17?
as well. That, believe it or not, reduces them to 1 stamina. Okay. And this time they're going after you.
Seems fair.
That's 9 plus 12 is 21.
Oh. I got a 3 plus 9 is a 12.
12, okay.
But it could work.
Not this time, I'm afraid. That's an 11 plus 5 is 16. So I'm afraid that's going to cost you 4 stamina.
Brutal.
However, I did land the final nick they needed.
Oh, nice. Good work, Ben.
Why, thank you, sir. It then says, so they don't have any brooches at all, it turns out. If you win, you may leave the house by the front door. Because
Yeah.
apparently if you kill the 6 snakes, the rain stops or something.
Yeah, or you could just do the thing that you decided to do if you weren't going to fight them. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Which was the other option, right? It was just to make a dash for the door.
absolutely.
I assume there'd be a luck roll involved, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there would be some kind of luck roll involved. Yeah, I don't know if you want to take provisions now.
Yeah, I'm already scribbling it down. I'll go down to 2 provisions, but I'm still at maximum stamina. Or my
Okay,
maximum stamina, which is a mighty 14.
excellent. Well, I'm thinking maybe this is a good time to take a break. I have no idea if we're anywhere near halfway, you understand, but
Sure.
it seems like a possible time to stop.
Yeah,
So
why not?
we'll take a break just for a few minutes, and we will resume, turning to page 75 or to paragraph 75 when we come back.
I'll make a note of that just in case. Wonderful.
Right. Thank you, everyone. If you're enjoying it, please stick with us. We'll only be gone a few minutes, and we shall see you hopefully in just a few. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying with us or joining us afresh if you've just joined us. We are playing through the fighting fantasy game book City of Thieves, in which so far we've had quite a lot of luck, despite the fact that we have, frankly, not comported ourselves in the finest of noble tradition. It's it's been a morally rough occasion one time. Other times I think we've done okay, but just that once we were pretty brutal. So
To the dragon.
yeah, to the Lizardine, I think it was called. Yes, that was cruel of us. To rob him and then murder him and then rob him again was particularly brutal. So we've just slaughtered some snakes in a dilapidated shack, and now it is time to turn to paragraph 75. Sorry, I was about to say chapter 75 there. I don't know why. Paragraph 75.
The book suddenly got a lot longer.
Yes. Outside, the rain has stopped, and you set off north again. Useful tip for you, Luke. When it's raining and the cricket, you just need to kill 6 snakes. You set off north again, turn to 31.
Yes.
Ahead you see a wooden bridge stretching over a dirty river. Various bits of rubbish are floating down to the sea on its black surface, and you squirm at the sight of a human hand passing by. I assume that's in the river. The bridge supports and columns reach high above you, and you see skulls, both human and non-human, tied to them. The wind makes an eerie noise as it whistles through the bridge structures, reminding you of tortured souls crying out for help. Almost hidden from view is a small flight of steps going down underneath the bridge from where you're standing. A one-legged man carrying a sack is crossing the bridge from the northern bank. If you wish to climb down the steps, or we can talk to the man.
So the steps on our side and the man on the other side.
Yeah. Now, we did receive some useful guidance here, didn't we, about under the bridge?
We did indeed. I totally remember what we were told, Ben, but for those of us that don't...
For those who are not Ewan...
Yeah, obviously.
The clairvoyant in the tent told us that the chap we were looking for lived under a bridge.
Yes.
So steps down to the underneath of the bridge sound to me like a thing to try.
It sounds perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably the wrong thing to do, but who knows? So let's head down the steps and see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll climb down the steps and turn to 329. Okay, need to brace myself for this one. It's about 2 pages long. The smell by the water's edge is terrible. Above, you hear the sound of footsteps crossing the wooden bridge. Built into the foundations of the bridge is a wooden hut. Drawn curtains obstruct your view into the hut, but you know you're not welcome when you read the words "Keep Out" painted on the door in large red letters. You draw in a deep breath and knock on the door. You hear muttering and the shuffling of feet, and suddenly the door is thrown open. Before you stands a white-haired old man with a long beard wearing long white robes. He looks at you sternly and says, "Explain yourself to Nicodemus." You are elated at finding Nicodemus and tell him about Zanbar Bone's reign of terror in the town of Silverton, and why Owen Caroliff asked you to find his old friend to help them. Nicodemus frowns and walks back inside his hut, telling you to follow him. He sits down on a rocking chair and starts to speak in a calm voice. I'm old and tired and wish for no more adventure. I live here under Singing Bridge in Port Blacksand to escape the pleas for aid from people fallen on hard times. Hence, no one bothers me. But I do wish to help my old friend Owen. I will tell you how to defeat the Night Prince, Zanbar Bone. Listen carefully. Remember, you may defeat him only after sunset. In daylight hours he exists on another plane. No doubt he will have his servants to protect him, but should you get past them, you will need something special to deal with Bone himself. To protect yourself from his entrancing stare, you must have a white unicorn in a yellow sun tattooed on your forehead. Normal weapons will not harm him. First, you must shoot him through the heart with a silver arrow. This will paralyze him, but not kill him. Then you must quickly rub the ground compound of a black pearl, hag's hair, and a lotus flower in his open eyes. With luck, he will decay before you in seconds. If your arrow misses, I'm afraid you will die the moment he touches you. The items for the compound can all be found in Port Blacksand if you search hard enough. I regret I cannot accompany you. Nicodemus then draws you a map of how to reach Zanbar Bone's guarded tower from Port Blacksand. He stands up, shakes your hand, and wishes you well. You leave his hut, climb the steps, and cross the bridge over Catfish River. Bridge Street continues north a short distance before ending at a junction. If you wish to walk west down Harbour Street, or turn east down Candle Street. Okay.
Wow. I mean, that was a lot then.
That was a lot of instructions.
We definitely need a silver arrow.
Right.
Possibly more than one silver arrow, because he had guardians, right? And his spirit stalkers can be
killed
by
with silver arrows.
Then we need a white unicorn in a yellow sun tattooed on our forehead.
Right. Yes. So we need to find a tattoo artist.
Yeah, definitely.
Assuming he isn't actually playing a ridiculous prank on us.
I mean, that would be some prank.
Yeah.
And then we need some kind of black lotus. No, it's black pearl.
Yeah. So what we're going to need...
And lotus powder and something else.
Yeah. We need to face him after sunset.
Oh, yeah. The first hurdle.
White unicorn in a yellow sun tattooed on forehead.
Yeah.
Normal weapons won't harm him at all. Shoot him through the heart with a silver arrow.
Yeah.
Then rub the ground compound of black pearl, hag's hair, and lotus flower in his open eyes.
Hag's hair, that's the one. I got black pearl and lotus powder because it's an old school Magic the Gathering Black Lotus reference.
Right.
Somewhere along the lines. Hag's hair. None of which we have.
No.
Even the silver arrow. To be fair, we don't even have the after sunset at the minute, do we? Although that is a given at some point.
Yeah, I assume we can just wait for that to happen.
Yeah.
No, we've got stale bread, iron spike, and lantern. He didn't mention any of those.
I've got some keys. I've got a few keys. We've also got a skeleton key.
Yes, true. Yeah.
And a throwing knife and climbing rope. But none of that was mentioned.
Okay.
I feel as though we've been lured into a false sense of security that this has been quite a casual going affair so far.
Yes, I agree. So, west or east? What do you fancy?
I don't know. Should we mix it up? Should we go east? We've gone west
why
so
not?
far, haven't we? Or
We go east, it's Candle
We've
Street.
gone west round.
I mean, I have no reason to believe that either Harbour Street or Candle Street are particularly the right way to go for any of those items. But we'll try Candle Street.
Yeah, I heard about a good tattoo artist down Candle Street.
Fair enough.
Who knows?
We will turn east down Candle Street. Yes. That's 238.
Wonderful.
On the right side of the street, you see a small alleyway between between two houses. The alley soon ends at a doorway with 6 skulls painted on it, 1 black and 5 white. If you wish to walk down the alley and open the door, turn to 27. If you'd rather continue east, turn to 139. I mean, it's a door.
Yeah, I get the feeling that we're going to have to start going down stuff to, find stuff.
Okay. So this is on the right-hand side of the street, small alleyway between 2 houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open the door at 27. See what happens.
Cool. Yeah, why not? Oh, God.
You enter a small candlelit room with no windows. It's empty, apart from a table and 2 chairs. A man wearing black robes and a skull cap is standing in a corner. He smiles and asks you to sit down at the table. He sits opposite you, and after placing 6 white pills on top of 6 skulls on the table, looks up to you and says, "One of the pills before you is deadly poisonous. The others are harmless. Swallow one of your choice. If you live, I will give you 20 gold pieces. If you die, I keep all your possessions. We can play the game, or we can go back up the alley."
I mean, it's all well and good, but we don't need gold pieces. We need silver arrows, a tattoo, a black pearl, some lotus powder.
That's what we need.
And some hag's hair. Although I do feel as though, we might need to buy some of these items at some point.
We might.
Potentially.
But, I've still got 12 gold. Not completely
Which
out
is
of the
not to
running.
be sniffed at.
No.
And I do have 6. So between us.
Yeah. And there may be an opportunity to, rob someone and then murder them and then rob them again for some of the items.
Yeah. Or play catch with a cannonball.
Yeah. Okay, we'll try this. We will leave the room and walk back up the alley.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because this looks like a roll 1d6 and you fall into a volcano again.
Yeah, a result of something will instantly kill you.
Yeah. So turn to 165. You can turn right down Candle Street or back to the junction and down Harbour Street. I think we're going to keep going, aren't we?
Yeah.
So keep going down Candle Street. Turn to 139.
Although it's a bit weird that it's given us the choice now, when I don't think we've had the choice before, have we?
I don't think we have.
Double back on ourselves. Maybe a little bit worried.
Walking along the street, you're suddenly halted by a plant pot smashing onto the cobblestones in front of you. You look to the left and see an open window. Inside, voices can be heard arguing. The door to the house is open. We can enter the house to find out what the argument's about, or ignore the argument and keep going. Well, it's a door.
It's a door.
Yeah. It's definitely a door. So we will enter the house to find out what the argument's about. 113. You enter the house and find yourself standing in a room full of toys. But they're not ordinary toys. These are stuffed creatures with nails through their heads. dolls' houses that are made to look like they're on fire, and many other unpleasant objects. In the middle of the room stand two old women dressed as though they were little girls. They're squabbling over a carved wooden duck. Each looks eager to destroy the duck with the knives they're holding. On seeing you, the women both start to shout, "Give us toys! Give us toys!" If you wish to give them something from your backpack, make the necessary deduction. If you'd rather leave these strange old ladies and continue east, turn to 375. Have I got anything I'd like to give them? I mean, not really. Unless they'd go for a gold coin, I guess.
Yeah, or a provision. I could give up a provision.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid option.
It says just give them something from your backpack. A provision seems fair. I've got 5 of them, after all. Haven't had one yet.
I'm happy to give up a provision if you'd rather keep hold of yours. It's up to you.
I haven't needed a single one yet, so giving one up. I could give them a spike, yes, but I feel that spike might be useful in some way. I will give them a provision, and we'll see what happens. You'll probably find out it'll then decide, did you give them a this or that, and if not, they attack you or something.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. Turn to 141. The women immediately start arguing again over your gift to them, ignoring you completely. You look around the room and see a table set for a meal. There are 2 bowls of hot soup on top of the table waiting to be drunk. If you wish to pick up a spoon and drink some of the soup, turn to 68. If you'd rather leave the old ladies and continue east, turn to 375. I don't know how drinking the soup gets us any of the things we need.
No, I mean, it might be a soup of hag's hair, or there might be a black pearl at the bottom of your bowl of soup. But
Well, they are old women. Hag's hair might be...
my initial thoughts were, oh, they're old. They must be hags.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit like I'm pigeonholing them.
Yeah. What the hell? I'm going to try a bit of soup. If it turns out to have hair in it, then we could be onto a winner. Which is an unusual way to react to hair in your soup, but yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to have some soup. That's turn to 68. The soup tastes absolutely disgusting. If you want to swallow it, turn to 380. If you want to spit it out, turn to 262.
Now it's just playing with you.
Yeah. So now I'm in that horrible...
Do you follow through, or...?
Yeah, well, it's either giving me a "Are you sure?" the way a DM would, or it's trying to encourage me not to do it because there's potentially a reward in it. And I'm slightly worried if I spit it out, won't that anger the women more? So we're going to go for it. We're going to swallow it. Turn to 380. And hopefully if it all goes horribly wrong, it'll just be like 2 stamina or something.
Yeah.
Despite its rotten taste, the soup includes herbs blended in an ancient tradition, which are beneficial to health. Add 4 stamina points. Feeling somewhat revitalised, you decide to leave the ladies to their argument and head east. Unfortunately, I am fully stocked with stamina.
Ah,
But there you go.
but
So
at
I
least we
shall...
took full advantage of the positive
Yeah.
opportunity.
But at least we can be confident there wasn't any of the stuff we needed here, because we tried everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So we head east, turn to 375. Eventually the street comes to a dead end at a high stone wall. There are stone steps leading to the top of the wall. On the other side of the wall you can hear grunts, growls and cheering. If you wish to climb over the wall, turn to 40. If you wish to walk back to the junction and head west down Harbour Street, turn to 91. So this is the last thing in Candle Street, apparently.
Okay.
Well, I feel a wall is like a door.
I mean, stairs certainly are. We've established that, I feel.
Okay, so 40 it is then.
Make it so.
I'm just checking I've got that right. Wish to climb over the wall, turn to 40, yes. This sounds like sort of gladiatorial arena or something, doesn't it? So it could be...
Good news.
It could be brilliant. From the top of the wall you see that it encircles a group of brown creatures playing some kind of game with a wooden stick and a small leather ball. They're playing cricket, clearly. One of the creatures has just hit the ball and is running towards a creature from the other team, who has his foot on a cloth bag. Ah, it's baseball. You realise that these creatures are bays playing their favourite game, baseball. I see what they did there.
Of course.
If you wish to ask to join in on their game, or you'd rather climb back down the wall and return to Harbour Street. Well, it feels rude not to try this door, right?
Yeah.
We can ask to join them in their game.
I'm not
168.
sure what it will give us, but
Nor do I, but we're here.
it's an opportunity. Certainly a door.
The bays have difficulty in explaining themselves, but you manage to understand that one of the other team is going to throw the ball at you. You're handed the wooden stick and told that if you hit the ball over the wall, you'll win the game for them. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal or less than skill, you've hit the ball powerfully in the middle of the bat and watch it soar over the wall. And if it's greater than skill, well, that doesn't happen. Other things happen.
You fall into a volcano.
You slip into a volcano. So, you want to have a go at this?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Unless you're particularly interested.
Well, technically I can't fail this, so there wouldn't be much challenge in it.
Okay, well then I'll do it for the risk.
Yeah.
The risk factor.
Because,
Attention.
it's a game after all.
Yeah, definitely. I'm under skill is what I'm looking for, right? Equal to or under skill.
Equal to or under, yeah.
Glorious. It's pretty close. That's an 8. My skill is 9.
Wonderful. So watch it soar over the wall, turn to 359. All the bays on your side rush over to you and slap your hands with theirs. They're overjoyed at their victory. Supporters run over and start handing you gifts. Eventually you manage to wriggle free from your admirers and find a place to sit down to inspect your gifts. You've been given 8 gold pieces, a bottle containing a clear liquid labelled Potion of Mind Control, a silver flute, a bunch of bananas, a piece of chalk, and an eye patch. Now you eat the bananas, gain 2 stamina points if you need them.
I don't.
Okay. So you can add 8 gold pieces, a potion of mind control, a silver flute, and a piece of chalk and an eye patch to your inventory.
Wonderful. Do you want to split some of this?
Well, we're sticking together. It doesn't really matter who's carrying it, does it?
Fair enough. 8 gold pieces, eye patch, piece of chalk.
Piece of chalk, silver flute, potion of mind control.
None of which are things that we need to defeat.
No, none at all.
Zemba.
However, all of them could be things that could get us some of those.
Yeah.
So, you climb back over the wall before the bays start another game, walk back to the junction, and head west along Harbour Street. Turn to 91. So all the way back to that junction we left after the bridge.
This one.
You pass a beggar in the street. He's sitting in the gutter and holds an empty tin in his hand. If you wish to toss a gold piece into his tin, turn to 332. If you'd rather walk past him, turn to 124.
Well, I'll toss him a gold piece, seeing as I've just won.
Okay.
8 gold pieces.
And Leno has got a good point here. A silver flute is something that could perhaps be melted down at least into an arrow.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of hoping that currency was silver pieces rather than gold pieces.
I follow the logic,
really,
yes.
Really handy at some point.
I have a silver brooch.
A flute is an arrow that hasn't been put into a bow yet, frankly.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, anything, if thrown with sufficient force, is an arrow. You toss a gold piece into his tin, turn to 332. The beggar tips his hat in gratitude and mumbles a few words. Add a luck point before continuing west.
Oh, well, I'm maxed out, but
Okay.
he can enjoy his gold piece.
Why not? We can always come back and murder him and rob him later. Turn to 124. A narrow alleyway runs south off the street between 2 houses. This rings a bell. If you wish to walk down this alleyway, turn to 326. If you'd rather continue along the street, turn to 180. It feels like a door, right?
It does.
So let's head down the alleyway. 326.
124, and the alleyway is 326.
326, yeah. Ahead, the alleyway is strewn with rubbish and discarded possessions. Suddenly you hear growling, and you see movement among the rubbish. You draw your sword just in time as 2 wild dogs, each 1.5 meters long, attack. Fight both dogs at the same time. Both dogs will make a separate attack round. You'll have to choose. Well, there's 2 of us, so that won't apply really. And then attack your chosen dog against. That's fine. You may escape. I don't think we're going to need to. They're skill 4, and one is stamina 4, and one is stamina 3. So, since I've got more skill than you, how about I take the stamina 4 one and you take the stamina 3 one? But they're skill 4. I think this is going to be quick.
Yeah, sure.
I rolled a 10 plus 12 is 20, which means I don't need to worry about their roll. They're down to 2.
Very nice. I got the double sixes. So it's 12 plus 9.
Lovely.
Which I believe makes 21.
It does, and again means they don't need to roll.
Yeah.
This time I rolled a 5. That's, I think, theoretically possible for them, isn't it? 5 plus 12 is 17. No, believe it or not, even that is enough to guarantee that the first dog is dead.
Mine is a 6 plus a 9 is a 15.
Which will also... Oh, no, not quite do it, will it?
No,
Theoretically.
no.
Yeah, it's possible.
However, they rolled a 4.
Yeah. So the two dogs are dead. If you win, turn to 184. Do you have any of Mrs. Pipe's golden flowers? No. No, we've got an enormous inventory list. But none of that. We do not. So we turn to 308. There is nothing to be found in the alleyway, so you return to Harbour Street and turn left. Turn to 180. Ahead you hear the noisy clatter of galloping hooves on the cobblestones. You hear the noise of wooden wheels and an urging voice, followed by the crack of a whip. Someone is rapidly approaching in a horse-drawn carriage. If you wish to see who it is, turn to 344. If you'd rather hide, turn to 34. I feel hiding is not necessarily the action of brave heroes.
No, certainly not in a town that would be aghast with chatter as they entered. I also feel as though we need to find more stuff. And to be fair, knowing the series of games as reasonably, mediocrely well as I do, hiding or confronting this person could be.
Yes, yes, I'm with you.
Could give us something, who knows? But let's go as you say.
344. We'll
find out who it is.
We'll find out who it is. Turn to 344. Yep. You step out into the middle of the street and wait. Suddenly a pair of horses come galloping into view, pulling an ornate gold carriage. The driver sees you and, cracking his whip, yells, "Make way for Lord Azur." If you wish to step out of the path of the oncoming carriage, turn to 58, and if you wish to stay where you are, turn to 252. I'm with Socks. Lick horse.
Lick galloping horse.
I don't think we get out of the way, do we?
No, let's stay put where we are.
252. Stay where we are.
Socks's head be it. I used to be an adventurer like you till I took a horse to the knee.
The carriage is not going to stop. Suddenly the four horses, their eyes wide with terror, are almost on top of you. You must dive to one side to avoid being run down. Test your luck. If you're lucky, you escape injury from the horses as you land in the gutter. If you're unlucky, you're trampled underfoot by one of the horses. Okay. Because we then have to split off in two directions, I think it's only one of us, isn't it? You want to try this?
That's fair. My luck is pretty good.
Okay.
I do have an 11 luck. So I'm happy to just about make it with a 10.
Just lucky enough.
And then lose one to go
and
to
then
10.
obviously it costs you a luck, yes.
Yeah.
You land in the gutter, turn to 275. You stand up and brush yourself down, thinking you'd like to meet this Lord Azur another day. The carriage races out of view and you set off west again. Turn to 171.
171.
The street gradually starts to run downhill. The houses end at a tavern called the Black Lobster, and the street opens out onto a quayside. A stone jetty runs out to sea, and tied to it is an old galleon. It's flying the Skull and Crossbones, and is probably one of the many pirate ships that anchor in Port Blacksand to offload their booty. Harbour Street turns right at the jetty and runs north, parallel to the shore as far as you can see. If you wish to walk down the jetty to climb on board the ship, turn to 399. If you wish to walk north up Harbour Street, turn to 78.
Ooh. Choices.
It's a thing, because I feel that the gangplank is kind of a door.
The gangplank is the door to a ship.
Exactly.
Boat, the ship. Ben, you would know more better than I would, to be fair.
And where there is pirate ship, there might be booty.
That is that is true, Ben.
Let's do it. So we'll climb on board the ship, turn to 399. A rope ladder hangs down from the stern of the ship to the jetty. There's also a gangplank leading up the side of the ship. You can board the ship by climbing the ladder or straight up the gangplank. What do you fancy?
Oh.
I'm tempted to say ladder is more prudent, yes?
Yeah.
All right. We'll try the ladder. 87.
Let's ladder it. Ladder it up.
Hmm.
Oh, that's awful.
You reach the top of the ladder and peer over the handrail to survey the ship's deck. There are two large masts rising into the air from the deck. There are only two masts. It's not actually a ship. Seriously.
See, that's why I deferred to you in the initial ship boat argument.
I mean, it could be a brig, you understand. But not a ship.
Yeah, obviously.
Could even be a bark.
Ugh.
Yes, yes, Leno, you need three masts, at least three for a ship.
Well, check out Mr. Leno with his ship knowledge.
Wooden boxes, barrels, and coils of rope lie all around. And one of the ship's crew stands on guard at the top at the top of the gangplank. Okay. We made a good choice there.
Good choice with the ladder.
In
Yeah.
the centre of the deck there's a small cabin with an open door. Through the door you see stairs leading down into the lower decks. If you wish to inspect any of the wooden boxes and barrels, you'll have to deal with the pirate on guard. Or we can creep down the deck to the stairs. Now, how angry with us is Leno going to be if we just sucker punch the guard and then go poking through the crates and everything?
I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Specifically Mr. Leno in chat, obviously.
Yeah. In answer to your question, Leno, I think ship it's a binary. It either is or it isn't. I've been aboard a sailing ship with 5 masts and it was still a ship. More specifically, it was a 5-masted schooner. How thick? As thick as ship. Fair enough, Leno.
He's got a point, though. It can't get much worse.
I mean, I'm going to feel much less guilty about slitting the throat of a pirate than some poor bloke. Okay.
Yeah, that is very true.
We'll have to deal with the pirate on guard. Turn to 120. You pick up a piece of wood and try to run as quietly as possible over to the pirate to try and knock him unconscious. Test your luck. If you're lucky, he doesn't hear you approach and you hit him on the back of the head, he falls to the deck unconscious and you begin your search. If you're unlucky, you stumble on a coil of rope and the pirate turns to face you. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it's my turn, isn't it?
I believe it is.
And my luck is 7.
Okay.
However, I rolled a 4 and a 1.
Ooh, nice.
Lucky enough. So my luck is now 6. Right. Turn to 84. The barrels all contain rotten fruit, and the boxes contain manacles and leg irons. Perhaps this is a slave trading ship. I'm feeling less and less guilty about clonking this bloke, you know.
Mm.
There's nothing else of interest to you on deck. If you wish to walk over to the deck cabin to climb down the stairs, turn to 50. If you'd rather leave the ship, turn to 78. I feel down is the way to go, right? You never know what might be in the cabin.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Deck 50. Yeah. The stairs lead down to the ship's cargo hold. It's empty. Opposite you, a corridor leads from the hold to 2 closed doors. You walk along the corridor and listen at the doors. From the door on your left, you hear loud snoring. From the door on your right, you hear nothing. You can open the door on the left or open the door on the right.
Let's go with the snoring.
Go with the snoring. Door on your left, you hear snoring. Left is turn to 271. Asleep in their bunks are 3 pirates. Their room is small and contains only clothing and a few personal possessions. It looks as if the pirates have been drinking and gambling. There's an uncorked bottle of rum, a mug and a pack of cards on top of a barrel in the centre of the room. You see that one of the pirates is wearing a small leather pouch around his neck. If you wish to creep up and try to cut it loose, turn to 162. If you'd rather close the door and not take any risks, turn to 284. I mean, there could be a pearl in there, couldn't there?
It feels like the place to find a black pearl would be a pirate ship.
You know.
I don't want to rip off any movie franchises. Or,
exactly. It would be terrible.
Any famous books or anything, but
I mean,
it makes perfect sense.
Also, I'm eager to open the other door now because it might have Keira Knightley in it. But
yeah, and we should definitely lick the rum, as Mr. Leno
lick
suggests.
rum, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try and creep up and cut the thing loose. Turn to 162. Test your luck. If you're lucky, you manage to cut the pouch loose without waking the pirates. If you're unlucky, the man's eyes flick open as you try to cut the cord and he grabs hold of your arm while calling out to his mates for help.
Oh, that'll be me then, I guess, at this point. Which is good. That's a 3, which is
wonderful.
Definitely under my luck.
Okay.
And I'll reduce it to 9.
Turn to 7. We are lucky. You tiptoe quietly out of the room and close the door. In the corridor, you open the pouch and find 6 black pearls.
Oh,
You can add 2 luck points for that.
ooh, blimey. Which brings me back up to my max.
And if you've not already done so, you can open the other door, or leave the ship to continue the search by walking north up Harbour Street. So, other door?
Yeah, well, it's a door.
It's a door. Completely out of our hands, really. Turn to
Yeah.
232. The door opens into a small room, in the centre of which stands a steaming tub of hot water. If you wish to hide behind the door inside the room to see who's about to take a bath, turn to 12. If you'd rather close the door, turn to 383. I think we've got to find out who's here, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, just because we've just found some pearls, there might be a hag or a Keira Knightley about to take a bath. And if
Or a
that's going
tattoo
to happen,
artist.
I don't want to miss that. So, okay.
I mean, that would be some magnificent foreshadowing by the book.
It really would, wouldn't it? You know, given that this predates the movie by an awful lot of years.
Yeah. Near unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we should see what's going to happen.
Right. Turn to 12. After a few minutes, you hear footsteps coming down the corridor. The door opens and a man walks into the room wearing nothing but a towel around his fat stomach. You watch as he drops the towel and lowers himself gently into the tub with a loud sigh. If you wish to surprise him by drawing your sword and uttering a loud ahem, turn to 176, and if you'd rather creep out of the room back into the corridor, turn to 383.
Let's go all in, Ben.
Yep.
It's my...
A bit of a hem. Yep.
Yeah, why not?
If we have to fight our way off a pirate ship, that just makes us action heroes, right?
Yeah, it makes us worthy of the town being all aflutter with talk of our arrival.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion. Yeah.
All right. Turn to 176. You tell the worried bather that despite your hatred for pirates, you won't harm him if he cooperates with you. You ask him if he has any of the items you're searching for, but he replies that as captain of a pirate ship he doesn't need such things. You press the blade of your sword against his fat neck to make sure he's not lying. He looks terrified and assures you that he's telling the truth. Then he says, "But I do know where you can get a silver arrow. Ben Berryman, the silversmith, will make anything in silver for a price. You'll find him in Clog Street." Making a mental note of the information, you leave the shivering captain alone in his room, locking the door behind you. Outside, you may either open the other door if you've not already done so, or leave the ship and continue your search by walking north up Harbour Street. Okay, so Ben Berryman, the silversmith, in Clog Street. We are now back on Harbour Street and walking north alongside the river or seaside or whatever. Yep. Harbour Street. Turn to 78. The street runs north along the quayside for a few hundred metres before arriving at a junction. If you wish to continue north up Harbour Street, turn to 256. If you wish to walk east along Clog Street, turn to 216. Now, I feel I know the answer to this one.
Yeah, and it goes against our following the left-hand wall. But we need Clog Street.
We need Clog Street. So 216 it is.
Got to get them arrows.
Clog Street is very narrow and lined with terraced cottages and the occasional shop. To your left, you see what looks like a small boy lying face down on the cobblestones, groaning loudly. A hood is pulled over his head, and you can't see his face. A wooden hoop and stick lie by his side. If you wish to stop to help, turn to 72. If you'd rather walk on, turn to 317. I know this game.
The hoop and the stick game.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I've played this game.
Did you end up lying in the corner of the street?
Not every time.
Crying? No.
The game sometimes ends other ways.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Future reference.
You know the game with the short stick and the long stick, where you hit the short stick with the long stick and make it jump?
I don't think I do, if I'm honest.
So you have... The short stick is like a piece of broom handle kind of dimensions.
Yeah.
Which you sort of whittle down to a point at both ends. So it's about sort of 5 or 6 inches long maybe, and pointy at both ends. And then when you put it on the ground, basically you have another stick, a sort of thinner but longer stick, and you try and hit it so that you hit the angle at the end of it. And if you do, it jumps up into the air. I must have injured myself dozens of times by not getting out of the way of the little stick. Are we stopping to help, do you think?
Yeah, let's
sure.
Stop and help. This feels like you're on the right street, but this clearly isn't the silversmith. Just don't rush past and try and get to your goal that you know about. Generally,
yeah. So let's stop to help. Turn to 72. It could easily be a trap, of course, but that's life. As you bend down to help the injured boy, he suddenly rolls over and you see the flashing blade of a dagger before your eyes. The boy is in fact a goblin thief, and you must fight him for your life. He's not a very skillful or stamina-y one, though. Skill 5, stamina 4.
Ooh.
So, he's going to go for me first. I've rolled a 9 plus 12 is 21.
I've got an 8 plus 9 is 17.
17. So if he rolls a 12, he can equal you and not take a hit from you. He actually didn't do too badly. He got a 9. But that's enough for him to be dead.
Or as Mr. Leno would say, to be murdered by us in the street.
To be murdered by us, yes. To be fair, though, we went over to help that one, Leno. That wasn't our fault. We were perfectly happy to pick him up and retrieve his stick and his hoop. If you win, turn to 208. The goblin's pockets contain 2 gold pieces, a clove of garlic, and some old knuckle bones. Take what you wish and head east again along Clog Street. Gold could be useful.
I feel as though at some point we're going to be punished for taking everything of what we wish. You know, like if you have a so-and-so, you're in big trouble.
Right, yes, could be.
But also, we've come across many a situation where we needed something that we didn't have.
It's true. I've added 1 to my gold, and you can take the other, presumably.
That's very kind.
A clove of garlic. Do you want a clove of garlic or some knuckle bones?
I'll take the knuckle bones. You have the garlic.
Okay.
If that's agreeable.
Sure. Excellent stuff. Head east again along Clog Street, turn to 317. One of the shops to your left is a candle maker's. There are many different coloured candles burning brightly in the window. If you wish to enter the shop, turn to 241. If you wish to continue east, turn to 280. This candle maker's not very bright, is he? He's literally burning his stock in the window as part of his advertising.
Yeah, it's gonna take a toll on your
Infinite Monkey Tales, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've had some fun, and I don't know if you've got a stream coming up. If you have, then no, you're usually before us, aren't you? So you probably already had one.
Yeah,
but thank you very much for coming along. We greatly appreciate it.
And enjoy your next game, whenever it may be.
Those Dark Places tomorrow. Oh, really?
Nice.
Enormous fun. We are, I mean, not tonight, obviously, but we are being currently guided through it by Luke, and it's a very, very entertaining thing. So, yes. If the schedule works out, I may even step through the door for a few moments and grin. Have a good time. We can enter the candle shop, or we can continue east. And oh, well, then that's cheating if your GM's the author. Yeah, I'm sure you'll love it. It feels like we're going to have to enter the candle shop, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
You never know. Maybe he uses hag's hair wicks. Enter the shop. Turn to 241. Inside the shop, you see a tall, thin man with pointed ears and fair hair, pouring hot wax from an iron pan into a mould. The candle maker is an elf. As he turns to you to speak, you notice his slanted eyes, which are ice blue. For some reason they appear very cold to you. He tells you that all his coloured candles cost 1 gold piece each. You may buy as many as you wish. He then asks if you'd like to see one of his magic candles in the back room. If you wish to see one, turn to 63. If you'd rather leave the shop and head east, turn to 280. I mean, I'd like to see one.
What else that entails? Yeah,
I don't know that we actually need one, but I mean, maybe there's one we can. Sorry. Maybe there's
That's
one
right.
we can get that like puts the lights out cleverly, so we can attack the guy in daytime or something.
There might be like a white unicorn one on a yellow. What was it? Yellow sun.
Yeah.
yeah. That would be a good candle.
Let's find out.
Rub it on our forehead and problem solved.
If you wish to see one, turn to 63. Let's see what he's got. 63. If he turns out to be evil, then we're probably doomed. But that's life. The elf leads you to a room lit by purple candles, which give a strange glow. You stand and stare blankly at the candles and drift off into a world of vivid dreams.
Oh.
While you're in this trance, the elf takes 2 items and 5 gold pieces from your backpack, if you have them. When you awake, you have no recollection of the theft, and leave the shop thanking the elf for showing you his beautiful candles. Okay. So I guess we need to each pick a magic an item from our thing that he gets, right?
Yeah. I'll
a gold
take 3
piece.
gold. Yeah. How many gold was it in total?
5 gold total,
5.
yeah.
I'll take 3 because I'm pretty sure I gained the most out of our last.
Okay, if I lose 2, I'm back to 11.
Yeah. And then he can have my chalk.
Okay, that seems sensible.
I was tempted by the silver flute, but I thought Mr. Lau would not approve.
He can... Oh, God.
Where to begin?
I'm going to give him the meat hook.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if that's something we're going to need, but it seems plausible that a candle maker might have use of a hook.
Yeah.
So outside you head east again, turn to 280. Further along the street to the left is another shop. A sign outside reads Ben Borryman, silversmith. If you wish to enter the shop, turn to 213. Yes, we wish to enter the shop.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
That's that guy.
Turn to 213.
He's the whole reason we lost our chalk and our... what was it you got rid of?
Butcher's meat hook.
The meat hook, yeah. Indeed.
Okay. A man wearing a white apron is sitting at a bench, busily polishing a silver goblet. There are several silver objects in a glass cupboard secured by an iron grill at the back of the shop. You can talk to the silversmith, attack him with your sword, or leave the shop.
Attack!
I feel talk is probably the way to go here, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yep. Turn to 248. You ask Ben Borryman if he has any silver arrows for sale. He replies that he doesn't, but will make you one at a cost of 10 gold pieces or 2 magic items. If you can afford his asking price, turn to 85. If you can't, turn to 42. I can come up with half of that.
Yeah, so can I. Although, I'd question what a magic item was. Could I give him 2 black pearls? Are they magic items? I'll give him 5 gold pieces.
I think the only technically magic item I've got is the silver scorpion.
Yeah, I would assume if it feels magical, it's magical, right?
Yeah.
Was it 10 total? Did you say?
10 total. So if we give 5 each.
5 each. Yeah, perfect.
Down
to 8.
Excellent stuff. One second. There we go. If you can afford his asking price, turn to 85. You pay the silversmith and wait patiently while he makes a silver arrow for you. Finally presents you with it and assures you that it will be completely accurate in flight. You thank him for his trouble and leave the shop. Outside, you head east once again. Turn to 100. You soon arrive at a junction. If you wish to turn north into Tower Street, turn to 127. If you wish to continue east into Stable Street, turn to 246.
Why do I feel like this is a point where we don't have any information and that potentially earlier we would have been told that we could have found lotus powder or hex hair in one of these streets?
Yeah.
Well,
I suppose I'm tempted to say let's keep going east, because it seems likely that if there's a different turn at the end, it might also turn north.
Yeah, we're bound to get more chances to the east.
Maybe, yeah.
In theory.
So let's continue east into Stable Street. Turn to 246. As you walk warily down the narrow cobbled street, you're suddenly confronted by a little old man who dashes out of one of the houses. He pulls a dirty bottle out of his canvas bag. As he speaks, you can't help staring at the large wart on his nose with its tuft of hair. He smiles and asks if you'd like to pay 2 gold pieces for a drink of his wonderful healing potion. If you wish to pay for a drink, turn to 98. If you'd rather keep going east, 363. I actually don't need healing.
No, neither do I.
Okay.
To be fair.
Then 363 it is, I guess.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street, you see a large manhole cover. If you wish to lift the manhole cover to see where it leads to, turn to 48. If you wish to keep walking east, 205. So manhole covers are kind of doors, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just like a door.
Yeah.
Frankly. So in the middle of the street, there's a manhole cover.
Leno, that's an excellent question, I think. We do not have a bow, no. We don't have a catapult. We don't have a crossbow. We don't have a longbow.
Yet.
When the time comes that we have to put the arrow in the guy, we may have to do it by, running at him with it held out at arm's length. Right, we will lift the manhole cover to see where it leads. Turn to 48. There's an iron ladder secured to the rim of the hole, descending into a tunnel below. It's dark, and a very unpleasant smell rises up from below. If you want to climb down, turn to 321. If you want to replace the manhole cover and continue east, 205. We've got to climb down, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. We've opened the door. We have to go walk through.
321. At the bottom of the ladder, you realise, much to your disgust, that you're standing in a sewer. Seriously, in like a medieval environment, what did people think was under manhole covers? What else would it have been? There are torches. It's not going to be like fibre optic cables, is it?
No.
There are torches along the tunnel wall giving a very dim light, and droplets of water make eerie sounds as they fall into the sewage water. If you wish to walk north along the tunnel, 356. If you wish to walk south, 118.
By my reckoning, south will take us under what we've already... But it could be full of good stuff.
I guess the difference is, if we head south a little way, it may lead us back basically to the river, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So is there anything that's likely to live at the sewer outlet of a river that we care about? A hag?
I don't know.
No, nor do I.
Lotuses?
Could be lotuses, yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. Let's try south first, because I don't think it can go that far.
No, well, yeah, that's true.
And we may then have to go north afterwards, I hope.
Yeah, unless we've gone down a long way and we go underneath the river.
Yeah.
But we'll soon find that out.
So we'll walk south, turn to 118. You can hear some scratching sounds in the tunnel ahead. Then you see a long shadow appear on the curved brick wall. In the dim light, you can just make out the large shape of something black and shiny moving towards you. The scratching becomes louder and you hear clicking sounds. The monster is only a couple of meters ahead of you when you recognise it as a giant centipede. Do you possess an insect bracelet? No, we do not.
Well, I do not.
No. If not, turn to 166. You will have to swing your sword with all your might to pierce the armour-like shell of this monster.
Oh, doesn't sound good.
So, am I not right in saying that so far in this adventure we've actually never had the thing we needed? When it said, do you have a this, it's always been no.
Yeah, not yet.
Which seems ridiculous given the sheer length of our inventory list.
Which is quite substantial at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, the giant centipede has skill 10, stamina 5. Okay. It's going for me first. I rolled a 7 plus 12 is 19.
I rolled a 7 plus 9 is a 16.
And it's done a 7 plus 10 is a 17. So I've landed a hit on it and you've missed. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Okay. So it's down to stamina 3. That's good. This time it's going for you. And I have rolled a 6 plus 12 is 18.
Oh, nice. I rolled a 12 plus a 9. It's 21.
Excellent. It has rolled a 7 plus 10 is 17, which means both of us have landed hits on it, which, believe it or not, has killed the evil giant centipede. Fantastic. I thought that was going to be much more dangerous than that.
It sounded much more dangerous than that, to be fair.
If you win, turn to 272. You manage to squeeze yourself between the dead centipede and the roof of the tunnel. You walk further down the tunnel and see that it ends in an iron grill through which the sewage water runs. If you wish to try to remove the grill, turn to 377, and if you want to walk back to the entrance hole, turn to 174. Well, we've come all this way, and that grill is a kind of door.
Yeah. I mean, if we're not going to open it and see what's on the other side, then it seems kind of pointless. Not pointless.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
It seems as though we've come this far in vain.
We will try to remove the grill. Turn to 377. 377. I don't know why I was reaching for dice then. It hasn't told me what to do yet. The iron grill is securely bolted to the brick wall, and you're unable to remove it. However, above the grill you notice a dark recess where some bricks have been removed from the wall. It's too dark to see deep inside the recess. If you wish to put your hand into the dark hole, turn to 92. If you'd rather walk back to the entrance hole, turn to 174. Could lotus flowers grow in crevices in sewers?
I think seems like a weak opt-out to me.
Yeah. We're going to have to do it, aren't we?
As meta as I'm going, but to be fair, we've been pretty meta throughout this whole series.
Yeah, it's got to be. So
we've come this far.
Yeah. Hand in dark hole, turn to 92. You're slowly feeling your way along the bricks when your hand comes into contact with a smooth, flat object. You pull it out and see that you're holding a mirror. You pack it away and walk back to the entrance hole. So we win a mirror.
Not at all what we were after.
No.
But hey, it's a mirror.
Turn to 174. We got a mirror.
Why am I totally disconnected from chat?
Yeah,
Who
we are
knows?
still alive. It's remarkable, actually.
Yes. And also, it's not a boat, Luke. It's a ship. Or is it a boat? I forget.
Which is a boat.
The pirate.
That
ship.
was a pirate boat.
That was a pirate boat. Okay.
Probably a pirate brig, I would think.
It
didn't say.
I'll ignore that then. I'll let Luke off.
The dingy dinghy. Yeah. Yes, probably.
Precisely.
Okay. Back at the entrance hole, you can climb up the ladder or head north. North?
North.
North. 356. Ahead you hear the sound of squealing and frantic splashing. Long shadows are cast by moving objects coming towards you. Then you see the sleek, glistening shapes of 3 giant rats only a few meters away from you. You draw your sword hastily and fight each of the rats in turn. Okay. We can at least take them 2 at a time and what have you. Thank you, Leno. Thank you for joining us. It's very kind of you to come along.
It's been great fun, as always.
Yes. And your suggestions have been both erudite and not entirely helpful. But that's...
At the same time
That's not your fault. It is entirely because the book offers what you might call limited selections.
But there have also been some magnificent ones, such as the disposal of the bronze scorpion.
Yes. Yes.
Which was
Excellent.
a masterclass in how to get rid of cursed items. Thanks.
Yes, it was. Well, thank you very much for joining us. So we have to fight the giant rats. Their skill and stamina blocks are 4-4, 5-4, and 5-5. So how about we take the weaker ones first?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. So if I take the first one, or do you want the first one?
I don't mind. You go first.
All right.
Go for it. I'm still warming my dice up.
8 and 12 is 20. That's first round to me.
Mine is an 8 and 9. It's a 17.
Okay. And what does your rat do? It's got skill 5.
It's a 5 and a 5. It's a 10.
Excellent. So both of our rats are now down to 2 stamina. And we go again. That was only a 5 for me, but that's still 17. And 9 for it is only 13. So the rat is dead.
Nice. I rolled a 6 plus 9. It's 15. And the rat rolled a 9 plus 5.
Yep.
It's 14.
So
it's
both
close.
of those rats are dead. Socks, my rat can slowly bleed out in a puddle in the sewer. That's basically what it can do. Okay, we have the third Uber rat with skill 5 and stamina 5. I feel very strongly that this is not going to be this is not going to be pretty. It goes after me first. I've rolled an 8 plus 12 is 20. It's rolled an 8 plus 5 is 13.
I rolled a 4. 4 plus 9 is 13.
Okay, so it's down to 3 stamina. It's going for me again. It may have picked poorly. I rolled double 6
Ooh,
for a 24.
right. Double sixes.
To be fair, it's rolled double 5 for 15.
I somehow managed a 6 and a 5 for a a 20 total.
Fantastic. Despite the fact that it rolled really quite well, it's very dead. So if you win, turn to 28. While you were fighting the giant rats, you thought you saw someone or something skulking in the shadows ahead. If you wish to continue further north, turn to 265. If you'd rather turn around and walk back, turn to 104. Well, it's got to go on, hasn't it?
We've come so far.
Yeah. So, 265 it is. With your sword still dripping with the blood of the rats, you walk further along the tunnel. The ledge you're walking along is narrow and slippery, and you have to tread carefully so as not to fall into the slow-flowing sewage channel. The tunnel gradually bends around to the right, and as you follow it round, the silence is suddenly shattered by the sound of running feet and a wailing scream. Coming straight at you, wild-eyed, with flailing arms and contorted face, uttering demon sorcery, is a white-haired old woman dressed in rags. She is a hag.
Ah, sounded like a hag.
Oh my god, this is going to go so perfectly. Do you possess a potion of mind control?
Well, it turns out we do.
We do. We actually have a potion of mind control, and we've encountered a hag.
Is this the first opportunity where we have held the item which we need?
I think it is. Yeah.
Glorious.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We do
Let's
have the
make the
item,
most of it.
and we will turn to 82. Yes, you won it for us playing baseball.
Baseball?
Baseball?
Baseball, yeah.
Have this item turned to 82. Before the hag can complete her spell, you reach into your backpack and take out the bottle containing the potion. You gulp down the liquid and feel its effects immediately. The hag is still mouthing her vile sorcery, but you can't hear her. Safe from her evil, you draw your sword and step forward. You grab hold of her matted hair and cut a clump from her head. She writhes and kicks and spits at you. At this close range you can see fresh blood on her face. No doubt she couldn't wait to cook some of the rats she'd killed. Despite your repulsion, you're excited about having gained one of the items necessary to defeat the Night Prince. You throw the hag into the sewer and walk back into the entrance hole. Turn to 104. Is it the line from... Is it The Man with Two Brains? Where he throws Kathleen Turner off the sort of veranda into the muddy puddle and says something like, "Into the mud, slime queen." Okay, we walk back to the entrance hole, turn to 104. Back at the entrance hole, you can climb back up to the ladder in order to continue east, or if you've not done so already, you can go south. Yeah, we'll go east, please. Turn to 205. Back up out into the joys of the upper city. That's 205. After replacing the manhole cover, you set off east again. Everything seems a little too quiet and you begin to feel nervous. Ahead you see that Stable Street turns sharply to the left. If you wish to walk round the corner, turn to 44, and if you'd like to walk back to the junction and turn right into Tower Street, turn to 127. What do you think? Keep going round the corner even if it's a bit creepy, or back up?
It's a tough one. The opportunity to back up makes me feel as though there's something we need that's back there. But also it's creepy up ahead, so, they're trying to put us off.
Yeah. Socks, I think you're fundamentally right. A corner is a door, isn't it?
A corner is a door without a door.
Yeah. It's a doorless door. Yes, quite right. Yeah. Yes. Okay, we will press on round the corner. Turn to 44.
Why not?
Well, at least we're not to blame if it goes horribly wrong.
Well, exactly, which is the main purpose of any game we play, is to not gain the blame.
Standing in a line across the street are 3 tall men, each armed with a spiked club. You notice that each has a red star tattooed on his forehead. They're vagabonds intent on robbing you. If you have a throwing knife, you may be able to cut one down before they reach you. If you don't have a throwing knife, you'll have to fight all 3 with your sword.
Oh, I assume I lost the potion of mind control.
Yes, I think that was used up.
We do have a throwing knife.
That's very good. Okay, throwing knife.
Well, we did, potentially.
Turn to 18. Throwing knife, turn to 18. That's good. Suddenly, we're having the things we need. It's amazing. You take aim carefully and throw the knife at the leading vagabond. Roll 2 dice. If the total is the same or less than your skill, the knife sinks deep into the vagabond's chest, stopping him dead in his tracks. If the total is greater than your skill, then the knife flies past and we have to fight all 3 anyway. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the game, basically. Make a skill check.
Oh, is this on me then?
Well, you were holding the dagger. I feel it has to be.
That is valid. That's a 5, which is less than my skill of 9.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome, Kelly. Very nice of you to join us. Okay. That means we just have 2 of them to fight, apparently. Turn to 102. The other 2 vagabonds stop to aid their friend, but it's too late as he's already dead. They seem undecided as to what to do next. After a brief conversation, they pick up their dead friend and carry him off down to a narrow alleyway to your right. You walk quickly north before they have time to reappear with more of their gang. Turn to 372. That was bonus.
That was.
Yep. The houses in this section of Stable Street consist of 2 rows of terraces. They're all made of sandstone, apart from one in the middle of the terrace to your right, which is made of brick and is painted white. The door is made of oak and a serpent's head is carved into it. If you wish to enter the White House, turn to 131. If you wish to keep walking north, turn to 333. I mean, it has a door, right?
Yeah, it feels very much like a do we want to go into the White House
Yeah.
kind of vibe. But
Yep.
it certainly, I would imagine, has a door.
I feel we have to enter the White House.
Yeah, sure.
I know a lot of people have dreamed of that. Okay.
Make it so.
We will enter the White House. Turn to 131. You walk into a room with sparse furnishings and a polished wooden floor. Silk curtains hang down over an archway on the far wall. As you start to walk across the wooden floor, a woman's voice calls out, "Who is it?" You can tell you're delivering flowers, tell you've come to collect old rags, or tell you're a tax collector. I mean, I feel like telling someone you're a tax collector is always the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, it's not going to end well, is it?
Yeah. Old rags? Because we don't actually have any flowers to give her, by the way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just wondering if she grows, exotic flowers here. But anyway, we'll try.
Oh, man, that's a good call. And then are we down? That's pretty much it, isn't it? We're more or less ready to go.
Other than the tattoo.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So we'll tell her we're delivering flowers?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
All of a sudden, something that felt a long way off is closing in.
Yeah. We are delivering flowers. Turn to 67. The woman's voice sounds excited as she calls through the curtains. "Oh, I wonder which kind dear has sent me flowers. Can you tell me who they're from? If you wish to tell her a name, turn to 195. If you wish to tell her you don't know who they're from, turn to 79.
Oh, son of a...
I'm tempted to say we don't know a name, right?
Yeah, it feels better than just making one up.
Because, I mean, we know she's going to turn out to be a vampire or something, right? But we've already met the hag, so it's unlikely to be one of those. But
yeah. I mean, we've got no name to give, have we?
No, well, not
realistically.
I mean, we may recognise a name if we see the list, but I don't.
Yeah.
Unless she recognises it the right way as well, it may be bad.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So let's try. We don't know who they're from. Turn to 79.
Yeah.
The silk curtains in front of the archway are suddenly pulled aside and a strange creature steps into the room. It has a snake's head, which sits oddly atop the body of a young woman wearing a lavish gown. Its mouth opens and a forked tongue darts in and out as the Serpent Queen challenges you, saying, "Do not lie to me, scoundrel. No doubt you are an assassin come here to kill me, but you shall die instead." Suddenly, the Serpent Queen stretches out her head and bites you on the neck. Lose 4 stamina and 1 skill. If you're still alive, combat. Right, let's find out who she attacked, shall we?
Yeah.
That was me. She rolled a 5. So what was that? 4 stamina and 1 skill. God. All right. We now have to fight her. She is skill 9, stamina 7. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. She's first going to attack me. That's an 18 I've rolled.
I got a 10 plus 9 is a 19.
Brilliant. She's got a 15. So she's taken 2 hits immediately. She's down to stamina 3.
Oof.
Okay.
Good start.
And she's after me again. This woman's absolutely got a bee in a bonnet for me.
Well, who hasn't then?
True. I rolled a 17.
Oh, I dropped mine, but it's an 8 plus a 9 This is 17 as well.
And I'm afraid
So
she's
it's
rolled a 19.
all or nothing is what I was going to say.
I'm afraid that's knocked me down again. Okay, this is why I brought all that food. Okay. It's a 3. She's after me again. God. Oh, this'll hurt her, though. That's a total of 23.
Oof. Mine's an 8 plus a 9. This is 17.
Okay. Her 6 plus 9 is 15. She is done. Okay. Before we move on, I'm going to take a provision.
Good shout.
Because that will get me back up to 19, which isn't my top, but it's not bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's close. Right, if you win, turn to 295. You sheath your sword and start to search the Serpent Queen's house. You find a brown leather bag which you pick up and shake. The contents make a jingling sound. Inside you find 12 gold pieces. That's useful. 6 each.
Nice.
Very handy. And a luck point.
I'm all good on luck.
Oh, well then in that case I will take the luck point if I may.
So, yeah, of course.
That will put me back up to my maximum of 7.
Nice.
It is a mighty luck of 7. Okay. You leave the house and continue your walk along Stable Street. Turn to 333. You soon reach a junction in the street. Stable Street continues north, and to your left you see Tower Street heading west. You decide to keep going north. Turn to 76. Actually, I was thinking Tower Street might be a good thing to do, but
apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not. So keep going north. Turn to 76.
There was a choice here, but you took the wrong one somewhere further back down the line.
To your left, you see a large wooden barn set back from the houses. 2 horses are tied to a post outside the barn, and smoke rises from a crooked chimney on top of its low flat roof. If you wish to walk through the barn doors, turn to 25. We won't worry with the other option because there are doors.
It specifically mentioned doors.
It did. It's just out of the question. So
And
we
as
turn to
such-
25.
We turned to 25.
You soon realise you're in a stable. Yeah, the giant doors and the fact that it's in Stable Street wasn't enough of a clue.
Yeah.
You soon realise you're in a stable when you see a large bare-chested man wearing a grubby white apron busy at work at an open fire. He takes a red-hot iron bar from the fire with his gloved hand and starts to hammer it into the shape of a horseshoe on his anvil. Sweat pours from his brow and he toils with the hammer. Will you make conversation, attack him with the sword, or leave him and continue north? I feel we're forearms over firearms here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to make
Make
conversation with the chap. 169.
For sure.
The blacksmith removes his gloves and wipes his hands on his apron before asking you what you want. You answer by asking if he makes anything besides horseshoes. He replies that in his spare time he enjoys making chainmail coats. Well, who doesn't?
Ooh.
In fact, it's become quite a profitable sideline of his, especially in a place like Port Blacksand. He tells you in great detail of the skill and labour that goes into making one, and finally inquires if you're interested. They're not cheap. If you wish to pay 20 gold pieces for a chainmail coat, turn to 46.
I mean, we've got it between us, right?
We have. I've got 12.
Do you want one?
I mean, tempting as it is, it's not on our actual list of essentials.
Well, that is true.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll have to pay for anything else we actually need.
What are we missing? We're missing the tattoo.
We're missing the tattoo.
The lotus powder.
And the lotus flower, yeah.
Flower, yeah. Right.
You have to a white unicorn and a yellow sun tattooed on your forehead. Shoot him through the heart with a silver arrow. Rub the ground compound of black pearl, hag's hair, and lotus flower in his open eyes. Basically.
Well, I'll leave it up to you. I'm okay, I think.
Yeah.
But if you wish...
I think basically... Yeah, we've got 6 black pearls. And we've got the hag's hair. We've got a silver arrow. We need to get the tattoo, get the lotus flower, and we're there.
Yeah, and find the place after sunset, obviously. But yes.
So, yeah, I'm afraid we're going to leave without buying a coat. Turn to 115. Coming towards you as fast as he is able, is a man in tattered rags with a ball and chain attached to his leg. He's exhausted and collapses in your arms. His face is dirty and unshaven. With great difficulty he manages to speak, saying, "Please cut me free. The town guards are not far behind me. I've been locked in a dungeon for 2 years, but managed to tunnel my way out. I was robbed and unable to pay my taxes. So Lord Azur ordered I be jailed for 5 years. Please help me." Farther up the street you hear shouting voices, and then armed men come into view. If you want to cut through his chain with your sword, turn to 90. If you want to hand him over to the town guards, 274.
I say we set him free.
Same here. Azur's the guy with the rampant horses attached to the carriage.
Yeah.
So we've already established that that's a bad guy. Yeah, we'll try and cut through chains with our sword. Turn to 90.
Cool.
You swing your sword with all your strength and bring it down on the heavy chain. Much to your surprise, it bounces off. Before you have time to try again, you're surrounded by 4 town guards who are pointing their pikes at you. Will you tell them you've caught the escaped prisoner, or offer them a bribe to let you and the prisoner go free? I guess this is the kind of thing that we kept onto our gold for, isn't it?
Well, either that or we need our gold and we must carry on with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel bad about handing the prisoner over.
Let's. I mean, it's on brand, isn't it? Let's bribe them.
Okay.
Or attempt to bribe
187. We'll try.
them. Yeah.
You tell the town guards you've something special for them if they let the two of you go. They reply the prisoner is a murderer and that you shouldn't help him. But they insist that you bribe them or else you too will be taken to the jail. Well, handy. They say they're interested in any of the following items: magic armour, magic rings, or magic potions. If you wish to give them one of the items they require, turn to 260. If not, turn to 341.
Rings, armor, or potions.
I've got a fortune potion.
I have a potion of strength, which, to be fair, I haven't gotten close to using yet. I still have 2 provisions left. It feels like the lesser sacrifice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I have a fortune potion. I'm not going to use it. I'm probably never going to end up using it because I keep holding on until I can get both my initial luck kicked up by 1 and enough to make it worth doing. Because at the moment I'm topped up to my starting luck. You see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're happy to give up the strength one.
I will give up the potion of strength.
Okay.
I feel as though we must be somewhat near the end, and I can't use it out of combat, right? And I still have my maximum stamina, so
yeah,
I can't use it in combat.
No, I'm afraid not.
Is what I meant.
So
yeah.
Okay, we'll try it. We will give them one of the items. Turn to 260
and see what happens.
The guards take their bribe and let you go. As you walk north, you hear the angry shouts of the captured murderer behind you. You hurry on in case he tries to implicate you. Turn to 222. On the right-hand side, the houses are separated from the street by a wooden fence with shrubs, trees, bushes, and flowers behind it. There's a turnstile in the middle of the fence, by the side of which is a sign reading Public Gardens, entry fee, 1 gold piece. If you wish to go into the gardens, turn to 370. If you'd rather keep on walking, turn to 133. Well, first of all, a turnstile is just a door.
Yeah, and second of all,
gardens.
I mean, a garden sounds like the perfect place to find flowers.
I very much agree. That's the thing to do, I think.
Pay a gold piece.
Pay a gold piece, and we will go into the gardens.
Wonderful. I'll mark it off.
Well, we're going to need... There are 2 of us going in. I'm sure we'll have to put in 1 each.
Yeah, that makes sense, to be fair.
I've still got 11 after that, so it's not the end of the world. So, if you wish to go into the gardens, turn to 370. You place the coin in the slot and walk through the turnstile. Although the flowers and shrubs are not outstanding, you're nonetheless surprised that such a place exists in Port Blacksand. The gardens are not very large, extending back some 60 metres to where some houses back onto them. There are 2 paths to follow, one of which runs around the edge of the gardens and one that leads directly into the centre where there is some topiary. Each shrub has been cut into the shape of an animal, and you decide to take a closer look. The path leads to a small paved area surrounded by the animal-shaped shrubs. In the middle there's a stone plinth upon which sits a large earthen bowl containing lotus flowers. There's a painted sign which reads, "Do not pick the flowers." The gardener is nowhere to be seen, and there is nobody else about. If you wish to risk picking one of the flowers, turn to 14. If you'd rather leave the garden and keep going, 133. Well, we're going to have to pick a lotus flower, obviously.
It feels like it's put there to punish us, but yes.
Yep.
What other choice do we have?
I mean, I'm sure it is going to punish
Frank.
us, but it's beside the point. We have to do it. So, yes, we will pick a flower, turn to 14. As soon as you pluck one of the flowers, you hear the noise of rustling leaves. 3 of the animal-shaped hedges have uprooted themselves and are closing in on you. Do you have a ring of fire? If you have, turn to 237. If not, 191. Well, of course we don't.
I have no ring of fire.
No, nor do I. 191 it is. You draw your sword to defend yourself against the advancing leaf beasts. They all attack you at once, seemingly trying to crush and smother you. You treat them as a single creature. Okay. They are skill 6, stamina 6. Okay? But they count as one creature.
Yes.
Okay. They're attacking you first.
Cool. Oof.
I've rolled a 17.
I rolled an 11 plus 9. It's been some good rolls.
And a 13 total for them. So that means they've been hit twice, doesn't it?
It does.
So they're down to stamina 2. And this time they're going after me. And I've rolled a 3, which nonetheless is a 14.
Mine's a 7 plus a 9 is a 16.
Okay, and this is a 10 plus 6 is 16. So you've been parried, and I've taken a hit.
Yeah.
Okay. And next round, they're going after me again, having decided that I'm easy. That's 17 for me.
5 plus 9 is 14 for me.
And 10 for them. So we recover and blat them. They are done. Okay. I'm at this moment going to take a provision.
Yes, that makes sense.
Which puts me back up to my maximum, basically.
Yeah, cool.
And leaves me with now 2 provisions. Okay. If you win, turn to 133. The street ends at a junction with Mill Street, which runs east and west along the city wall. Looking east, you see a group of town guards marching towards you, and you decide to walk quickly west along Mill Street. On your left, you see a narrow lane, and ahead you see a young lad coming towards you, pushing a barrow laden with fruit. If you wish to walk down the lane, turn to 182. If you wish to buy some fruit from the barrow boy, turn to 160. What do you think?
I don't know. Let's buy some fruit.
Buy some fruit, okay.
Yeah.
Turn to 160. The boy puts down his barrow and asks what you'd like to buy. He recommends his plums as being particularly refreshing. Okay. If you wish to pay a gold piece for a bag of plums, turn to 211. If you wish to buy a bag of red apples instead, for a gold piece, turn to 242. You fancy anything?
Well, there's no option for otherwise, is there?
We've got to go for one or the other, yeah.
Let's go with his recommendation.
Okay. Bag of plums, turn to 211. The plums are sweet and juicy and taste delicious. Add a stamina point. You wipe your mouth with the back of your hand and continue west. Turn to 307. Walking towards you along the street are two huge guards wearing the black uniform of Lord Azur. As they get closer, you see they're trolls, brutal mercenaries employed by Lord Azur as Imperial elite guards. To your right, there's a tree which reaches almost to the top of the city wall. If you wish to risk walking past the trolls, turn to 290. If you wish to climb the tree in order to get over the wall, turn to 11. Does tree count as a door?
I mean, it's made out of wood.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Let's try and climb a tree. Climbing trees is always going to end well.
Yeah, I believe Zox agrees. I'm assuming yes is an agreement rather than a run for your lives. It's all going to end terribly.
Yeah.
Which is, to be fair, is equally as likely.
True. The trolls see what you're doing and run towards the tree. You're forced to leave your shield behind. Lose a skill point. Bugger. After climbing quickly up the tree, you realise you must jump a distance of 2 metres between the branch and the top of the wall. If you're wearing a chainmail coat, you'll have to take it off in order to jump safely. And lose 2 skill points. Wow. And below you see the 2 trolls running around the tree waving their swords at you. There's no alternative but to jump. So we lose a skill point and then jump.
Yeah. But luckily not 3 skill points, which is pretty brutal.
That's pretty horrible, yeah. Okay. Suddenly I'm wishing I'd actually had a potion of skill.
Yeah.
358.
Definitely.
It's a close shave, but you just manage to grip the edge of the wall with your fingertips. You pull yourself up and climb on a stone walkway along the top of the city wall. On either side of you are stone towers rising above the battlements, spaced some 100 metres apart. There are doors in the towers, both of which are suddenly flung open as more guards run out to capture you. There's a 20-metre drop on the other side of the wall. Will you jump to freedom, fix a climbing rope to the wall and climb down the other side, or face the oncoming guards? Believe it or not, we have a climbing rope.
We do have a climbing rope. I've particularly not gotten rid of our climbing rope.
This is a very good thing.
It felt like a thing
that
we might need.
Let's try and use a climbing rope, shall we?
Yeah.
108. Yeah. Yes, in this case, a climbing rope may be a door to life, frankly. 108. You lower yourself slowly to the ground. Above you, the guards are waving their fists at you from the battlement. You're now outside Port Blacksand. Do you have all the necessary items required to slay the Night Prince? If you have them all, and have been tattooed, turn to 201. If you lack any of the items or have not been tattooed, turn to 299. I believe I'm right in saying we've got them all, but we haven't been tattooed.
Oh, Ben. It feels like we've come so close.
We have to turn to 299. You never know, there may be a...
We have all the items, but we've not been tattooed.
There may be a thing.
Let's see. Let's see. It might happen.
It would be extremely dangerous for you to enter Port Blacksand again, especially as many of the town guards would recognise you. There is nothing else you can do but make the long walk back to Silverton to report that you have failed in your mission.
Oh, we don't even get the do-over like we did in the last game.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not
no.
your fault, Ben.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, that's only the second one of these books we've actually survived.
Well, that is true. And to be fair, if we'd have had a do-over, we might have died quite on one dice roll.
Quite easily, yeah.
As happened before, yeah. Definitely.
So, I mean, we can't count it as a win because we haven't had a win. In fact, our brand does not really include winning.
No.
But it could have been worse.
And it is the closest, I think, to winning. I'm pretty sure in the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, we missed out by more than we did on this one. We had one objective that we hadn't met.
Yeah,
the tattoo.
I think we probably had the same number missing, but in Warlock we only needed 3 things done or something.
Possibly, yeah.
So we probably had 2 out of 3. Whereas here we had like 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, something like that.
Yeah, that makes I can get on board with that, definitely.
It feels like it
felt like we achieved more.
Yeah, it felt like a close run thing. And also, all other things aside, I think this has been my favourite story so far.
You know what? I'd agree. Definitely.
I think this is my favourite one so far.
It's felt the most positive. It's felt as though we've got quite far within it.
Yeah.
Socks agrees. Socks says it's easily our best one yet, which is, generally a good gauge of how well we've done.
Yes, I agree. And it was, at least to an extent, it felt quite successful. Even failing felt like we'd done quite well.
Yeah, and it definitely felt less, as Sock says, less chaotic. There was more. It felt like there was more planning to be had from it, and we could sort of judge that there would be a garden, and in the garden there could potentially be a lotus flower.
Yeah.
Or similar incidents.
Yeah, I don't think we ever passed or saw any indication of where you could get tattooed, to be honest.
No. No.
But obviously there were judgment calls we made about which way to go, and likely we missed the option.
Well, yeah, and again, I'll zoom out and I'll check out the whole map. But there were a fair few options. There was a whole street down the middle of the map at the very beginning that we didn't take.
That's right.
I can only assume that these two would lead up to an eastward passage, and I don't think we got
that's
much
likely
from the west.
I mean, we have to assume that the tattoo would have been north of the river, because you wouldn't have known what tattoo to get before then.
Yeah.
But even after that, there's that entire block sort of immediately north of the river and west of the route we took.
Yeah, definitely.
Which could have included a tattoo parlour.
Yeah, for sure.
But then if we'd done that, we wouldn't have walked past the stables, would we?
Yeah, and I guess that's the crux of the matter when it comes to these games is and mapping them out is figuring out which route you can take to get you everything you need. I suppose.
I think realistically they are designed for replayability to an extent. So you should be able to look at your map and go, okay, so if when we'd reached that central crossroads at the north, if we'd gone north there, when we came up out of the manhole cover, we'd gone back west again. You remember that corner we went round, which the thugs were the other side of?
Yeah.
If we'd backed away from that instead, gone back to that central crossroads, and then headed north, we might have found a tattooist.
Yeah, potentially.
Hmm.
Potentially.
Yeah. So it's possible that there are other things. We
It
didn't walk
almost.
the rest of the harbour front either because we knew we were going for the Arrow.
Yeah, definitely. So we just went straight down the Arrow. The
Yeah,
Arrow Road. And to be fair, the Arrow, there could have been a double back like there was further down the,
there could have been.
what was it, Cobblestone? Whatever the street name was. It could have been like that. And also, to be fair, I think the first half almost felt like it was almost like before the bridge was an information gathering type, not exercise, but, anything beyond before the bridge was sort of gathering information on where you would get your final items.
Yeah,
And then after the bridge was you need to do this in not a precise order, but an order to get what you actually need to succeed.
Well, the next one is obviously going to be much more relaxed and much more more comforting and safe because number 6 is called Death Trap Dungeon.
Yes, which in fact I do own. I own Death Trap Dungeon and Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which was the first one, obviously. But I haven't played in a very long time. And I will not be playing until after our next playthrough, Ben.
Excellent. Right. Well, we will do another one. But before we go, we should talk about what's happening tomorrow, because we are once again without Luke tomorrow evening, and so Ewan and I are going to do a largely unstructured and entirely unscripted sort of chat and catch up with some discussions also about what we're doing in the coming sort of 6 or 8 weeks, that kind of time frame.
Yeah.
Because we're just starting our next sort of this weekend, in fact, I think was the first of our new block of content for the next month and a half, 2 months. So we're going to go through what those all are and talk about what's coming up, but also talk about what we've already done and any news that's come up or things that cross our minds. So it'll be a much more relaxed. I believe Twitch technically refers to them as just chatting.
Possibly. We've referred to them in the past as after hours general chat type.
It's that kind of thing. It's going to be much more relaxed, or I say much more relaxed. Couldn't get much more relaxed, but it's going to be relaxed and unstructured. So if you literally fancy just coming along for a chat and learning about what we're going to be doing next and our thoughts on what we've done recently, then please do come along, and hopefully we'll see you then, 11 o'clock UK time. So all that's left for me to do is to say a million thanks for coming along and joining us, and I hope you had some fun. I really enjoyed this one, and I always enjoy these books, but I thought this was a really special one.
This felt very positive, I think. It was a good step in the right direction for our fighting fantasy series.
Yeah, I think it worked really, really well, and with not having to strictly focus on the printed word tomorrow, and not having to worry about the fact that my voice still has to be completely clear, I will probably be drinking quite heavily. So I'll be very relaxed tomorrow.
That is the plan. Feel free to join us, as Kelly says, with mimosas.
Yes.
Maybe a picture, maybe not. But
the cocktail of your choice is, of course, whatever you enjoy, but mimosas are de rigueur, I feel.
Well said, as always, Ben. I can't argue with that, can I, really?
So thank you, everybody. It's been absolutely lovely. And
Yes.
hopefully see you tomorrow.
Good night.